Right now, it is December 2, 2023, and we're having our Zoom meeting with the ITSA, International Teacher Support in America. And I am waiting for people to come on. So far, nobody might be up. So we will see. There's Giselle. Giselle, welcome. You're the first one. I don't know, Mike is not here. I don't know, Mike might still be asleep. So Giselle, I'm gonna make you host, okay? Giselle, how are you? You're having a good, you
Hello,
are having a
Doc.
good week?
Morning.
Morning. Are you having a good week?
So far, yes, Doc.
Yeah.
I've
I
been
wonder
very
what's going on
busy
with,
this week.
wonder what's going on with everybody. You and I so far the only ones. So,
Yeah, I think they'll be coming in a minute, Doc.
okay. Well, I guess I'm so used to American time now.
Yes,
In the Philippines, we're still running on being late at least an hour. So
yes, Doc.
when you all come to the US, you're gonna have to get used to the American time because they want to come at least 15 to 20 minutes early, if not 30. So I remember when we
Yes,
first
Doc.
got married, my husband and I would a lot of times be putting my makeup in the car or my shoes in the car because he's already ready to go. And so I kind of got used to that. You have to be early, not late. But we
Yeah,
do still have some Filipino friends here who still practice the Filipino way. Do you know that that's
yeah.
actually what the my Latino friends also say in their culture? They also do the same thing. They're late. So
Yeah. I think if I'll be there, Doc, I'll be practicing that also.
yeah, yeah. So do you ever like, is there anybody that's late at school? Do they ever have any instances where teachers are late? And what are the consequences?
Yes, Doc. There are times it's a salary deduction, Doc, for the
Are you
teachers.
serious?
Yes,
Really?
Doc.
Like how much
Yes.
salary reduction is it? Like one day? What?
It's they're having this or
What do they have?
and they will just mirror salary.
What
They're
happened to
going
their salary?
to yeah it's but it's not sometimes usually teachers are not late, Doc.
Hmm.
We're really trying hard to be on time.
Yeah. Well, what time was on time
So
there?
that's
7:15,
it.
7
But
o'clock.
sometimes the things can
Things happen. Yeah.
here, Doc, we have 7:30, but because of the situations here, Doc, we have lack of classrooms. There are schools here in the Philippines that um la- there are schools that there are too many students and we don't have classroom. That's why we have the shifting. Some of the schools, Doc, they're having shifting. Some will start a class at 6 in the morning
Hmm.
and at I think that's 12 o'clock.
Really?
Some
It's like half a
are
day,
yes,
like half a day school.
yes,
There's Diana.
yes, Doc,
Diana's with us. She's trying
yes,
to
Doc.
connect.
I
Anyway,
already
so
admit.
but do you do teach whole day though? You don't teach half a day.
Me, Doc, no, Doc. We have a only one shift, so we
One
will
shift.
start at 7:30 and end up at 4:30. But
Yeah, I
we will
remember.
dismiss our class at 3.
Okay. Well, I remember that in high school that there were some high schools in the area around Mandawi that were only like half a day. You know, they would come only like, 8 to 12 or 12 to 3 or 4 o'clock. I don't remember what it was. But anyway, so they do have those half days. Here that only happens like in kindergarten. They would a half day kindergarten or something, but public schools it hardly happens. Private school, they have their own, they can set their own things. So they're not really being controlled by the Department of Education. So private schools have more freedom to do whatever, experimentation they have to do. So anyway, Diana,
So,
I don't see Diana's picture. Diana,
Hi, Doc.
hi, can we see your video? We only see your background. Yeah, there you are. How are you doing, Diana? You have, can you unmute? Okay, there
Yeah,
you are. So what's up with you?
I'm good. Actually,
Good.
I'm here at the store. That's why I'm just listening.
Oh, you are? Okay. Well, it's nice to be able to see a picture though, because I'm recording it and it looks so funny without a picture. Just like a bunch of sounds. Yeah, that's why I said, please turn your video on. But
Okay.
yeah, Giselle usually does not. So I'm glad that Giselle is turning hers on. And Diana, do you have any questions for me today or, for us? Giselle is my co-host
Mm,
today.
no, at the moment. No,
Huh? No? So if
at the moment, no.
so what happens if
Uh,
you have an interview, Diana, if you feel ready?
Actually, I have no, that was last last week. I've got an interview from I forgot the country, Georgia.
Oh, really? And then what
Yeah,
happened?
but
What happened?
I think it's Thanksgiving week there.
Uh-huh.
That day, last Saturday,
Wow.
and then she, at least I experienced so having an
Interview.
interview,
Yeah. And what was the
and
response? What's the result?
uh, she told me that I still have to conduct because there's a lot of applications that I have to that she has to interview first.
Mm. So that did she say anything about when you will know?
No.
Okay. Well, what you need to do after an interview, Diana, is you have to send a thank you email to thank her about her time. And if you enjoyed your interview, you need to say that. And I appreciate you.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to know about the result. So that
Okay.
way she will have your email in her inbox and
Mm.
maybe to
Okay.
remind her to give you an answer.
I will do that.
Yeah. Anytime you have an interview, you always send them a thank you and kind of, tell them
I'm
you're
going to
looking
do
forward
that.
to the
I will.
result. That way,
I will do that.
yeah,
Thank you.
that's always impressive if somebody would actually send you a thank you after an interview. I think that's really good. So I think that's a good habit to do, to have that you'll just send thank you note anytime that you got their, they spent time with you. They're very busy folks, and then they spent time with you. So that's one thing that you could say is I appreciate, I know how hectic your lives are, or I know how busy you are. Thank you for spending time with me. I really enjoyed visiting with you, and I'm looking forward to hearing back from you. So
Yeah.
hopefully you'll hear some good results. Won't that be nice? Georgia is not bad. That's only 2 states over for me. 3 states. My Miss Arkansas, and then Mississippi, and then Alabama, and then Georgia. So there's
Oh.
3 states over. But it's not bad, it's drivable. I can drive there. Yeah, we can drive there. And Georgia is at what? Do you remember the place in Georgia?
I forgot.
You don't forgot.
I'm going to check the email because it's my first time also to use that. It's
Zoom?
at Zoom. It's at Zoom. It's in Microsoft. It's
Team? Is it team?
Yeah, it's
Team?
Team,
Yeah. I
and
use
it's
that
my first
too.
time.
Yeah, it's very similar to Zoom, but
Yeah.
I'm very used to Zoom more than I am on the team. So, but in the new a consulting place that I am affiliated with now, Bailey's, we use Teams. So I am trying to get used to that as well. But Zoom is my favorite because I know it very well. When I was teaching at Arkansas State University, we use Zoom. You know, I had a weekly Zoom with my students because I was teaching online. So anyway, going back to your interview, Diana, what were the questions that they asked you?
Actually, it's a very nice interview because she spoke very, very soft and slowly, and she keep on telling me to say sorry because I'm disturbing your time. And then she's asking me about the management classroom management.
So how did you answer it?
So I just told her the one that I'm managing also first grade students different. So what I'm doing, what I forgot what I did. I forgot what did I say.
What topics did you talk about?
Um, it's all about the student. I just shared also my experiences for the years that I have been an advisor for the first grade students.
Yeah. So what kind of experiences were you talking about? There's
I'm
Fran.
sorry,
There's my cousin Fran. Why are you wearing a mask, Fran?
I'm sorry, excuse me for a while.
Yeah, that's fine. She's watching the store. Hi, Fran. What happened to you? Why are you wearing a mask?
That's only the picture. So I'm at work. I will take that one later.
Huh?
That's only the picture that I bought long time after doing the paper.
You don't want to show me a video? Anyway, there's Diana again. Hi, so there you are, Fran. So Fran, we were talking about Diana's first interview from
I'm so
Georgia.
sorry. I keep on because I'm watching at the shop here.
That's okay. I understand.
I'm
No
in the
problem.
store.
Hey, no problem. Life happens. Don't worry. You don't worry. Just step out anytime you need to. But so Giselle, she said something about classroom management. So how did they ask the question, Diana? Like how do you, or what type of classroom management do you do? How did they ask it?
I remember she's asking me that if there's one student whom what problem the problem of one student. So what I answer is that that there are students that really needs an attention like family. So wait, I'm going to remember. um my answer with that problem student is that we're going to check the family background because we need to understand why the students act like that.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Um, I'm more I guess a more detailed answer would be, you could use an example. So for example, I remembered I had a student named so and so, first name only. And so because I wanted to know the family background, this is what I did. You could have a conversation with, like the previous teacher. You could have a conversation with somebody that would know them, or did you have a like some kind of interest inventory or some kind of things that you did at the beginning of the year and you found out about their family. So those are some things that you could share about how do you know.
After the interview, the things that comes into my mind is your advice that I need to note. I forgot that one.
It's okay. You'll do it on the next one. But what happened is Giselle.
It's 12 midnight.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Sometimes our mind just quit functioning well. But hey, Giselle, how would you have answered it if you have one student that's a behavior problem student? How would you answer that, Giselle?
Um, First, Doc, right, as a teacher, we already had a background to our students, and based on experience, I have been teaching in a small school, so we know most of our students, their backgrounds.
Mhm.
So first, I would definitely call that student. I'm going to talk to him or her. I'm going to ask her if there are things that needs if he or she has problems.
Mhm.
Then I would like to, after talking to that pupil, I'm going to find ways to catch his or her attention. Honestly, Doc, I have an experience of that right now. I have this grade six pupil who is really let's just say he's very not unmotivated, but he's really how would you say that he would always catch your attention. Okay, he would always do
Attention
things
getter. Those are
that would
attention
annoy.
getter.
Yes, he would really do things that would annoy a teacher. But um, when he first came, because he was a transfer here, Doc, when he was in grade five. So I'm not really I don't really know about him. So I was asking his teacher before, what's the problem of this boy? And the teacher explained to me that he does not have a father. He does not know who his father is, because he said his mother is just like working something like of what do you call that? It's just like a one night stand with the mother, or something like that, because her mother is working. I think in I can I cannot really say, but his mother. How can we say that? His mother is working in. I don't think it's maybe in a bar. I think you understand what I'm talking about, Doc.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yes, he as he told me before that he was living in the street. He
Oh.
would just they would stole food to eat with his
Oh.
friends. So um he's definitely like a street child. So he that's why he's always misbehaving in class. And what would I do? I would ask him. I ask him, "What's your purpose of coming here in school?" And he would say, he wanted to study because he wanted to become successful someday. And I said, "What you what would you like to learn?" And he would say, Doc, that he wanted to learn discipline. He wanted to be disciplined.
Hmm.
So that's why from that day, Doc, I'm trying to give him my attention. I'm giving him activities like I would I would give him um things to do, like he will be happy when I would let him just a simple errand, Doc, would he would really be happy with that. And as I have observed, he needs sympathy and maybe a little care from the people around him, because I think he does not experience that.
Okay. Very good. It shows that you care about the student and you know you have knowledge of student and you did the knowledge of content, which you know you did activities and you did assess the student. And I think you did reflect. Plus, who did you collaborate with? The other, yeah, you did all five core. There, good answer there, Giselle. You might not want to say things like annoy. You might want to say, if you really want to use that word, you need to say it could annoy other teachers. But with me, I want to make sure that I address this child's need. So what I did was, and once you talk about what happened in the past, pay attention that you're using past tense. So all of your verbs should be past tense, okay? So I did this and I questioned and I called the teacher last year and so all that. So make sure, because I had that issue whenever I first got here, I would get my tenses kind of mixed up, and even when I wrote, I did that. And so just kind of pay attention to that. But other than that, your answers were really good. You really was detailed, and I like that you use an example of an actual child, and that makes a huge difference. Okay, and so you may want to also summarize it with when you finish answering, you might want to say kind of concluding sentence like, knowledge of student is just as important as knowledge of content, and that when you know your children, I realize that when you know your students, then you know how to handle, how to handle them, how to take care of their needs and what needs they may have. Just like you said, you gave this child attention because you realize that this child is homeless. So how you could have described is there was a child raised by a single mom. You don't have to say anything about bar or anything. Just say raised by a single mom who works a lot. And so this child was always by himself. In fact, he lived in the streets and all that. It's fine to say that, but just kind of summarize it like that. You don't have to tell the whole story about like, the father one night stand. No, don't do that. Just say raised by a single mother. That way they can kind of get an idea that this child does need attention if this child is living on the streets and all that. And another person you could have collaborated is, your counselor, because your counselor usually has ways to, address their need, at least in America. In America, this is what we do. When we have homeless children and coming to our school, and that doesn't just mean people living in the streets. If you have a niece or a nephew that's living with an aunt and grandma, those are considered homeless because they're not with their parents. They may have a home, but they are not with the parents, so they are still considered homeless. And every school here gets extra money for every homeless child that they have because they can provide them extra, materials or resources. So that's something that may not be happening in the Philippines. What does the Philippines do with homeless kids? Do we have any resources there that a person you could collaborate, like a guidance counselor? Or a Department of Human Services, DHS, Department of Human Services? What do you have there?
Here, Doc, we have the SWD, that's the Department of Social Welfare and Development. But in schools, Doc, we don't have counselors, Doc. We only have designated guidance coordinators, and they are just teachers, Doc. They are not licensed. Sometimes, how it goes here, Doc, in the Philippines. That's a budget thing, so that's why we don't have guidance counselors. Sometimes when the pupil
Did I lose you, Giselle? And that's good to know, though, that you don't have that, because in the US, and this is something you might want to need to know, is that every school usually has a guidance counselor, because especially high school, because guidance counselor would work on their schedule. So the counselor, the guidance counselor would provide the students their schedule, and then they would provide counseling classes. So they would have a group counseling class. So one, even elementary, they have a counselor, and then that counselor would have that whole class for an hour. For example, I have, every teacher usually has a break every day. They call them preparation period. And so one of my days might be my students are going to the counseling class. And then on Monday, on Tuesday, my students might go to the art class. Wednesday, they're going to music class. And then Thursday, they're going to PE class. So they have this class every day. So the teacher will have a break, will have like a period break. So that's kind of, I don't know if that's a law, but at least most of the schools I work with, we always had that prep period, and I know in the school where I was an administrator, we had the prep period of the same teachers, like all our English teachers have the same prep period. So that way we'll have a meeting. They call them PLC meetings, professional learning community meetings. We had it every Wednesday. So all the English teachers will come. And then I would meet with them and we would talk about my observations that week, what happened, what did I see, what are the great things that are going on. And I would show them graphs of, these are the things I noticed. There's a lot of sit and get, a lot of worksheets going on. I would love to see some active engagement by students. I would love to see students having discourse, having discussion with each other, like a Socratic circle, they call that here, or readers, like a readers group, or some activities where the students are actually working with somebody, with others, or even partners. But if you just give them a worksheet, that's when misbehavior happens. So because the kids are bored, so you see a lot of misbehavior in classes where they're not using strategies, some effective strategies to get the kids' attention, or to make class a little fun. It's not like when I was a teacher, I would always later on, whenever I was, after I became administrator and I went back to teaching, to do a substitute gig here in Salem for half a year. And so I was teaching 8th grade and 11th grade English. And what I did was I always included YouTube videos relating to my class, or there's a teaching channel video here. And so I would look for a video that would go with my class, or something funny, something, some clip or whatever, in order for the kids to kind of be ready for the topic. And so do something like that. I'm sure you have they have do now or bell ringers for 5 to 10 minutes. And some schools, they even have a format of like, everybody has to do 5 to 10 minutes of a do now or bell ringer, and it has to relate to what you're doing. And so then after that, then you have to do your lesson, and then you have to have the activities. So you're going to have your GRR, or gradual release of responsibility, where the teacher will be doing it as a class. And then so I do it, and then we do it together. And then before you'd say, you do it with the students, and you don't just go straight to one student independent. You go first to like a grouping maybe, or a paired activity. Then when you feel like everybody's ready, then you can give them an independent activity. But you have already done a lot of scaffolding, a lot of support, by having them do these paired activities or small group activity, and you are not sitting on your behind. You are actually getting up and checking and observing and giving feedback. I would say things like, oh, I love that idea. Oh, I love that. Will you please share that later when we debrief? Because after that activity, we always debrief as a class. Okay, get back to your group. Now let's share. What did your group find out? What did So I remember group 2, you have some really cool ideas there. Can you share with the rest of the class? All that. Hi, group 5, that idea about this. Can you please share? That your classmates would want to know that. So as a teacher, because I'm so forgetful, I would carry my little clipboard with me. And I would start writing this thing, because that way you'll really be very intentional, and you really would like everybody else to discover things that these kids discovered in their little group, but you want the whole group now to get it. Okay, so if you have that kind of format, it will not be as boring to the kids. But if you are just standing there the whole 45 minutes, some classes here are 45, 50 minutes, and some classes are block period, which means it's about double. It's 1.5, so 90 minutes. I like the 90 minutes better, because as an English teacher, because I'm able to do a lot of things with them. Although some teachers don't like that, because they have to come up with a lot of activities. And especially for teachers that do not like activities, they don't want the 90 minutes. But I love it. And so anyway, but of course, that's not under the control of the teacher. It's the school that will decide on the schedule. This is what our schedule is. So if they change that, it will have to change the master schedule, which, sometimes there is a saying here that if you change the master schedule, it's like World War III. Some teachers that do not like change, they get so mad. Oh my gosh, you have to change from 45 minutes to 90 minutes, or vice versa. They don't like that. So anyways, and that's, as an administrator, you have to be careful about that, okay, do I have buy-in? Do my staff, would my staff be okay with this? So usually have a meeting and have that conversation with them ahead before you do any big changes. It's always a good idea. And I found that out, you have to sell this idea to everybody. And I know of a principal before, there's a good friend of mine, was actually Milet's boss, was former boss of my sister Milet. And she would always plant the idea in Milet's head or somebody else, and so then that way the teacher will bring it up. It's not coming from her, but it's really coming from a teacher that she already talked ahead of time. It's kind of like manipulation, but sometimes it works, because it doesn't sound like you are a dictator. sounds like, oh, this is an idea coming from the group, you know. So she planted things like that, ideas a lot. Milet and I were discussing, like, yeah, she's so good at that, huh? And she was very effective at it. I mean, things happened because the teachers didn't look at it like she was a dictator. Teachers look at it like, oh, she's a very collaborative leader. You know, it's always like a collaboration with everybody. Everybody has input, and that's a good thing, right? Okay. So Giselle, so that was a good answer. And so when you do your answer, always try to be thinking about the core proposition, okay? So you need to say, and now Diana, when you answered it, you said about your knowledge of students, which was good. Okay, so you just need to put in things like what content things, strategies that you use, that your knowledge of your content, okay? And then when you assessed it, that's when you assess, okay, what does this child need? You know, because this child is misbehaving, what does this child need? And then you reflect, you can say things like, oh, I realized later that, you know, or I reflected and thought that this child must be needing attention because this child is living off in the streets, you know, so all that, or this child must need resources because if he steals food in, you know, in the street, then this child must be hungry. So maybe as a, you know, in America, we have so many resources, like you can write grants here. Like grants means it's a free money. You can write grants. And I was a board member in one of these humanities council, which is like, we got like maybe $1 million or $2 million a year from like rich people, from like a Gaisano equivalent here, some really big companies, and they would give us money with the organization money. I was one of the 22 board members there, so we have a big board, and then we decide on what to do with the money. So we were doing committees. I was in the committee with that would approve grants from teachers. So every month teachers can write grants or whatever project they have. So it could go up to $3,000, just 150,000 pesos for 1 month, you know, and you could, so Milet and I wrote grants because we wanted to buy a lot of books, multicultural books from different countries. So some Chinese stories, some stories from Japan, from Africa, all that. And we made a list of them. And then we, you know, as part of your grant, you put the budget in the end. These are the books that I want to, you know, purchase. And I want to purchase cameras. I want to put computer, iPads, whatever it is that you want to do. And then you have that budget at the end, and then you send it off and it gets approved. They will send the money to the school. And so then you order the materials and the school will pay for it because it has to be controlled by the school, because it is through the school that we are doing the grant. But Milet got 3,000, I had 3,000. So that was kind of neat. We were able to buy all kinds of books. Of course, when we left the school, we have to leave the stuff in the school because it's, you know, for the teacher that replaced us, but because we moved on to other schools. But anyway, but there's some opportunities here in America where they actually have businesses helping teachers. You know, I guess I got better at like begging for help. Like I think I mentioned this before, that I'm a chess coach. So when I was a chess coach then in Salem, I had 70 plus members, 77 at one time. So we needed some money. We needed money for snacks because I fed them snacks every Tuesday and Thursday when we met for an hour and a half. And then we went to tournaments. So somebody had to pay for the McDonald's that we're going to stop by and eat. And then you have to buy the gas for the bus, and and then the bus driver. Anyway, so I was able to get from the banks, from the local businesses here. I just, you know, I asked permission from the principal. Can I have a letterhead? And I'm gonna write a letter. And then I showed him the letter. This is my ask letter, letter to beg. Anyway, and then he said, okay, that I'm gonna send it to local businesses. And then we were able to buy our uniform, our t-shirts, and the t-shirt was being designed by the students, by the chess players. Well, I think 2 years, my daughter Stephanie they voted on it. So she ended up doing the shirt design. But anyway, so we ordered the shirts. So it's kind of neat to have the 70-something kids, you know, wearing black, because our school color was black and gold. So we did black a lot. And so they were all wearing black. So it's okay. It's very easy for me to spot where my students are, because they're the ones with a black shirt and then this design on their shirt. So it's kind of neat to see that, the dominating, you know, especially graduated, a bunch of them won trophies and medals. And so it's kind of, oh, the black, this black group. There's a lot of us. But anyway, but the thing is, that's the difference in America. We do have resources. It doesn't have to come to school to that. I mean, it doesn't have to come from the school itself, because a lot of times, like where I live, the schools are not rich, poor, they're poor school. But if you are resourceful enough, I do workshops a lot of teachers to teach them how to write grants, and I actually would like ask them, hey, send it to me, and I would look at it and I would help you fix it, whatever. And then I know, because I was a former board member, and these folks knew me. So they would, oh, this is Merlina's teacher. this is a friend of Merlina's. So anyway, so I would actually email the executive director, that the chief, and I would say, hey, there are 3 grants there I sent. I hope that, I hope you treat it right. Something, because one of the areas that you put in there is your expert or something, or your scholar. They call him expert or scholar. They always put my name there, so that's how they know that it was me who helped them. And so what I always tell the teachers is, like, if they have a follow-up question that they want to know more about your project, you have to answer it, because we call them DOA. If it's not answered, if you're not that interested, then to get the money because you didn't even answer an email, it's DOA, it's dead on arrival. We put it on the no file. So be sure that when you write grants here in America, you have to answer questions coming from the people that's going to be writing the check. Okay, so that's a huge difference. Do you have anything there in the Philippines that you would be getting some donations or sponsorship from, other than sports? Or do you have, because here too, sports are also being sponsored a lot. What do you have in the Philippines that where the teachers can beg for money, ask for money? Is there anything?
Here, Doc,
Mm-hmm.
here, Doc, there are some schools that have the so-called stakeholders, Doc, in
Mm-hmm.
which some of the businesses would donate some things in school. But it's not all, Doc, because like my school is small and we are from a mountain school, and in here we only have one barangay, but we have 2 elementary schools because of a river that before they don't have a bridge, so the students would have difficulty in coming to school when there is flood. So they decided to build a school there.
Mm.
Nobody knows us. We're not very familiar. People would ask, oh, where is this school? So that's why we don't have stakeholders. But most big schools, doc, they have stakeholders,
Yeah.
and they
Hmm.
would be helping them.
Okay.
And now the provincial government, doc, have supplied us with rice so
Nice.
that we would feed our children, yes, every day.
Wow.
But our problem, doc, is the one that we will uh, mix with the rice, because it's not really good that you will be having lugaw every day, doc, because the children really like to eat that. So we
And a
tap the
mungus is
parents.
cheap.
Yeah, yes, doc. We tap the parents. We were asking for help so
Mhm.
that we would feed the children, and yes, the parents agreed with us. So we are feeding them every day, and um it's really good, doc, that especially seeing those kids that they would really love to eat, doc,
I
especially
bet.
those who don't have at home.
They're so hungry. Yeah, they're so hungry. So what do you still have those planting gardens, right? I remember in my 5th grade, we were planting gardens in the back, and each class has their own garden, and in each garden we have a plant for us. And I remember bringing home my eggplant. I was so proud of that, because, oh my gosh, I have this eggplant that I raised from seed. And so that was my first experience of planting, because being from, I was not in Karkar anymore. I was already in the city. So like a city girl, I was like so excited that I have my own little garden. spot. And so now in America, I have my big garden. And so every time I have all these vegetables over, I think of that fifth grade experience. So that's how the impact that you do as teachers, because I remember the teacher. This is my favorite teacher, and so I remembered her telling us, praising us, like, oh, look at so-and-so's, look at so-and-so's plant. It's not surrounded by weeds. Here we are trying to make sure that our plant also looks so weedless and all that. And so we work with partners. And so that was, I can't wait to have the end of the day so we can go to our garden. And so anyway, so it was experience like that. Do you have any gardening or anything in your school? Do you, Diana? Fran, you live in Karkar. She's my
We
cousin.
have
Yeah. But I am teaching in the city, but
Oh,
our students also allowed us to plant because we have gulayan sa paaralan.
okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
we will assign them to plant eggplant, alugbati,
Yeah.
like that. And then
Oh, yeah.
they let us bring them to their house so that they can eat together with the family.
Yeah, that's cool, right?
Yeah.
Here we get so much produce. They call them produce, the vegetables that we get that I like, but I don't like to sell it. I like to just give it away. So I would be emailing or texting people like, hey, I have so many tomatoes here. Can you come by? Because it's gonna go bad. Or hey, I have so many eggplant here. It's a Filipino eggplant, the long one. And so anyway, I would have them to come by and get some. They have to get their own. I don't want to harvest it myself. Like this year, I have so many of those peppers, different peppers. Like I have the jalapeno one, and I have the little bitty kuliki, so the very skinny one with the long thing. I forgot the name of it, like a chili pepper. But anyway, and it's red. It turns red. That's the one we put in vinegar. This little skinny thing. What do you call those?
Chili,
Yeah,
pepper,
that's not chili.
pepper.
Yeah, chili
Oh, yeah,
pepper.
chili.
I was right about that. Yeah. And so I planted different kinds of peppers. So I had so many that by the time that the weather started changing, then your your garden will be over. Then I was able to actually bring some of my chili. I put it in a pot, the ones that are still good, and I put them here inside my house, so it's not gonna get frozen, because anything that you leave outside here, then they are gonna get frozen. So they die. I felt bad yesterday. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot my lemongrass, tanglad. I forgot to bring it in, and I have a really thick one. They just now all brown, dead. And I brought one in, but I forgot that I have another one in the front of the house. So I'm like, oh, because I was out of town, and I was just telling my husband that, will you please bring my plants in, because it's supposed to freeze, then that night while I was gone, I was at the hotel. So he was able to bring it in, but I forgot to tell him there's also some in the front of the house, but I was just appreciative that some of my favorite plants were in, especially I have lemon plants and my lemongrass, the big one. And so anyway, so when I want soup, I just go right here. I have this little hallway that connects from our house to the guest house, and I just go down there and get a lemongrass and put in my soup. So it's kind of nice to have that. So in America, whatever little your house is, you have this place that that you can put some of your plants in. That's a good idea, because otherwise they're dead. I had put some plant in a garage, and of course it still gets cold there. So my plant actually died there. So I said, well, I can't put them in the garage because I've not been closing it like I should, locking it. So I've been like leaving it out, because there's some cats there. I feel so bad. We have some cats that are wild cats, that they are just out there hungry. So I've been feeding them. So they've been coming in our garage and are now having babies. Oh my gosh, I have like 4 really pretty cats. So anyway, I'm digressing. So anyway, so that was talking about the life in the Philippines versus the life here in the US. It's still a cultural knowledge. That's the difference of how we teach here, and the resources that are here, and the weather that's changing. It's not just rainy and dry season like we have in the Philippines. It's actually 4 seasons. How the season is right now, it's December. So that is called the winter season. So it starts with, let me think, December through February, that is winter. And then March, April, May, that's called spring. And then June, July, August, that's called summer. And then September, October, November, that's called fall or autumn. So those are the 4 seasons. And the only season that's not good is winter. I mean, it's fun to play with snow and ice, but it kills everything, that you plant. So, but it's really pretty. The white, it's white I wake up sometimes and it was so cold that night, right? And when you wake up and everything is just blanketed with white. Everything is like white, because even the trees have this hanging with ice, crystals and your house, by the edge of your house, eaves. I don't remember the term of that, but anyways, by your house, the end of your roof, and they have this ice thing there. That's kind of dangerous sometimes because it's sharp. It could hit you, but anyway, that's a huge difference, and that's something that you will like the first year you're here. You would really like the winter season, because I really enjoyed playing in the snow and making snowman. And not every snow you can make snowman. Some snows are not packable. Like I love the snow that you can actually pack and make make those round things, and then you can do your snowman, and then you just go and get some scarf and carrots for nose and all that. I love that. But sometimes the snow is not like the snow is not the kind that you can do that. But what you don't want to see is ice. Ice is like when I was pregnant with Jet in '99. I was about to have him, and we were out of school for like 2 weeks after Christmas because of ice in the road. If there's ice in the road, there's so many accidents that happen because you will slide out of the road. And when I was driving 2 hours and a half to my college here, and it was snowing, and I did not realize it was going to be icing too. And I had a test that day. So my husband said, you need to just do they'll just give you a makeup day to take the test. I said, no, I have to do it. I was so hard-headed, should have listened. And so when I was 30 minutes away from my house, I was not even halfway to my school. And if you put your brake on with your ice, it tries to spin around. So my car was spinning around in the street. And luckily for me, there was nobody that was coming. And there were no other crazy people like me that was driving the road. And so it was spinning, and I was like, oh, I was panicking. And so it was spinning, and then it went to the ditch. But luckily the ditch was also icy. So I was just able to go down the ditch and up again. So I didn't even have to have him come get me. I was able to drive on, but I was just like, oh, I was so scared. I was like trembling. I had to pretty much like take a deep breath because I thought I was going to die that day. And then I said, I was so proud to like tell my husband that I should have listened to you. Later on, I told him, but that day I'm like, oh my God, he's going to tell me, see, I told you. So I was able to take my test, but I could have died trying to do that. So that is the difference with living in America. Is you're gonna have, and that's why when you apply, for example, Diana applied in Georgia, and Georgia, that's in the South. Okay, so that's right there by Florida. It's actually next door to Florida. And so anyway, so when you see the states right there by Arkansas and the way down, those are southern states, and they do not snow a lot. They still snow, but not a lot. But when you go up, if you look at the map of the United States and you see the northeast part, like New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, which is close to Canada, when you see those are snow. Those snow there is so deep that it could bury your house. It could bury your car. So it's that big. So anyway, so I remember seeing a news that shocked me that said this old woman had to call the cops because she could not get out of her house because the whole thing was covered with snow. And so you would have, some neighbors that are so nice, they know that you're an older person and you don't have anybody who could help you. They would actually when they clean their own house, they would actually try to clean somebody else's yard too. And so that's something that you want to think about when you go here. But the Filipino teachers that are here, oh my God, they're enjoying this winter. They really are, especially if you have children. Your children would love the first winter, and then you decide if you like it or not. When I had kids, I really enjoyed it because we always went outside. We got this, I got them this little snow suit thing, well, so thick, and then have their boots on, and so then we're like, okay, time to go to get your sled. And we would be sledding down the hill, and making those, winter things, but throwing snowballs at each other, all that. So it's kind of fun when you have kids. My husband is so silly. Whenever one year it was so cold that our pond, we have this pond, like a 1 hectare pond, and he went and checked it out. It was all frozen with this frozen ice. Okay. And so then they said, well, without telling me, I knew about it after the fact. And my son said, Mom, do you know that Dad took me to the middle of the pond because it was all ice? And I'm like, oh my gosh, what if it, what if, because it's really deep. And so we said, no, Dad, no, that it was like so thick and nothing happens. And I would have thrown a fit. I would have been so mad if I knew ahead of time that you are gonna do that. You're gonna bring our kid over there to the pond, like, because it's frozen. That's not a safe thing to do, because if it's not really, really deep frozen, it could just be like little thin thing, could go down, could kill someone. So that's not a good thing. So be careful about that when you come to America. Be careful about going on a frozen pond. Although some places here, they actually would make like a little snow, like a snake, their skates would skate around that, but that doesn't happen very often. I remember that one time in here that happened, but in this north, Minnesota and Maryland, all that, that's a very common thing. They would have like ice fishing. Ice fishing is like they make a hole on the ice and they would just drop their fishing pole down there, and then you will catch the fish, but then you're inside this house that's warm because otherwise you get your butt frozen. So you are inside this little house, like payag, like a nipa hot thing, but it's not nipa hot, but anyway, but it's warm inside. And then so you still have your jacket, and then you're fishing right there in that hole. I've not seen it in person, but I've seen it in movies a lot. And I've always said, I want to try that. And then somebody was saying, Merlina, it's not as fun like in the movies. You're actually suffering because it's kind of cold, And I'm like, yeah, but I want to experience that. I love to fish. So I want to experience that. So the lesson to that is when you come here, I want you to experience as much as you want safely, but because it's something that's different. It's everything is so new. And like Mike, for example, oh my God, they're like his family, they're driving all the time. They're like, you got their first cars, and they were like, oh, we're going to Texas to visit somebody, and they came here for our drive to see me and all this. So it's Leslie and Abby, oh my God, they've been here like few times. Oh, more than the others. They have been my regulars here. Maria had spent 2 weeks with me one summer. First summer she was here, and so she was like saying, "How can I spend time?" Now that she's got a boyfriend, then it's not going to be the same. But Leslie and them, I think they said they were going to come to see me around Christmas time. I'm like, well, why don't you do that after? Because I'll have my kids over. And so it's kind of, you get your attention split up, when you have family and you have your friends there. So I would rather have us be able to do things when the kids are home already. They live out of state, except Jet is here. But the other 2 kids live in Nashville, Tennessee. And our granddaughters will be here too. So I don't want to do things with them. And so then after Christmas, they want to come here and spend time with me. Hopefully it will snow, and we'll do some snow stuff, and we'll put it on Facebook. Yeah. Any question, Fran? Maria, by the way, Maria has to join us. Maria Christina, welcome. And I see Art. Oh, Art, thank you for joining us. And
Yes,
Joanne,
no.
hello.
Thank Yes.
And Maverick, hey, hi, Art, do you have any new things that you want to share with us from Florida?
All right. Okay. Good morning.
Good
Okay. Good morning.
morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Oh, is it
Monica.
your apartment? That's your apartment? You have to show us your apartment.
No. Okay. This one. I'm gonna show you. Okay. This one actually is my friend's house.
Okay.
All right. So he's now in Guatemala. So I'm the one who taking care of his dog and all the stuff here in the house.
That's nice that you got a friend already that close that live you.
Yes, the one that we talked last time.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
one
he's the one.
He seems nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so very kind to me, like everything. I mean, like he's be cared, like, oh, you must do this stuff, like you must practice now with driving because he has also car, right? And then like he pushed me a lot, like to do that and apply. I said, okay, maybe this month of December I enroll driving.
Uh-huh.
And then after that one, he's the one to go like follow up with it.
Oh, that's cool.
Because Yeah, because like right now, like I'm going to school, I just do like Uber, and he said, "Oh, if you know how to drive, you can grab my car and do
Yeah, yeah.
drive it." Like,
Well, that
yeah,
gets
so
expensive too if you Uber all the time. That's expensive. Yeah,
yeah, it's really expensive.
yeah.
But when going to school, sometimes he like drive me to the school.
Okay.
So yeah, and then I really appreciate what you have shared today, Doc, like about the reading stuff. Like I'm have also struggling with it because that is my about grammar, no problem with me because I'm teaching Ella grammar and writing, no problem. But in regards to reading, that is really for me, it's really tough for me teaching those subjects because that is not my major. That is my it's first time to me to teach that. So, but here is
That's my specialty. I could help you with that.
oh yeah, I agree with that. And then I really appreciate what you share, like the PLC, and I just said, oh, how I wish I could like you'll be my like the professor advisor in that department and share something. And with your sharing right now, I could something I learned something from you that
Well,
oh,
that's
this is what
good.
I'm gonna do. Because with reading, it's still a reading comprehension. That's what I told you the last time that I'm fully loaded and I cannot focus with the story because I need or I should read the story, right? Before
Mm-hmm.
I present it to the students. But as I said before, like I'm like in every Monday, I'll be teaching like 5 levels or 6 levels. So with Monday, in Monday alone, different story. So I have a hard time with it. So maybe I planning to talk with the principal today, the assistant principal, because the owner is the principal is the owner of the school. She is like a Pakistani, and the assistant principal is an American. So, since the middle school and high school is under the assistant principal, so maybe I'm gonna talk with the assistant principal to change the schedule
Mm-hmm.
for Monday alone because it's very loaded for me. Like, I'm so stressed with that because even like in the States, like the books, it's too the story is like 5 to 10 pages. It's a lot, right? And it's
Yeah.
very hard for me. That's I'm struggling with it, honestly.
Well,
Doc.
what can you not do like because you're a private school? I wonder if you can combine like your 7, 8 will have the same text, will have the same story, and the your 9, 10 will, and then 11, 12 will. Can you not do that? Some schools are doing that where, for example,
Oh, okay,
diary,
okay,
a
that's
diary
good.
of Anne Frank can be done seventh or eighth. So you can do your seventh and eighth grade students will do the Anne Frank one, but then you look at the standards and see how that verb will change. Like for example, the seventh grade might be analyze, and then on the eighth grade maybe create something new, at the different bloom level. And so you just have to make sure that you address the standard, but you can use the same text, and that way you don't have to know 6 different stories. You're only doing
Yes, it's so very tiring for with me. Like the one thing also I adjusted with the story doc because like I'm handling a multi-grade. Like every Monday I'm dealing with like 11 and 12. I think they are 19 in the class.
Mhm.
The other side I divided with 11 and 12, but I have a problem because the other side don't have book. I mean, their books is 12, the other one is 11. So I'm thinking with that, how can I do with it? Like that's a huge problem with me.
You can do a literature circles where you're grouping how many 11th grades do you have, how many 12th graders.
I think 12 and the other and 11, 12, and then for the 11th I think they're ninth. The
Okay,
12 are yeah.
maybe you can get 2 groups of each, and then that way
They share the books.
yeah, 2 groups that they share the
Okay.
book, right? And this
I
side that would do different, and then the other side, and then you can have them. You have to train them to do this, but you in a literature circle they call that, or Socratic circle. But literature circle is when you have a role. You have 4 people, for example. You have a role. So the first one may be the leader, and then you decide what the leader does. The leader could be the storyteller, or could be whatever, and then say, the other one could be an like any role that you want. I wish that I
oh
remember the different
wow, oh
roles.
my God, I
Yeah,
appreciate that
yeah,
one.
yeah.
I
You
think
have.
yes. Yeah, I mean, that is good. That's also my I'm waiting. Like if they see my the way I teach, and then I'm looking also for the feedback, but they don't have any something like to do this. And I asked the principal, "Sure, what's the best I could do with this because it's my first time." And she's shocked, like, "Really? You don't have you are not English teacher?" Yes, I said my major is social studies and also um fed, but it's very different context though. We do the strategy, it's the same, but I'm looking for it because that's reading. And he said that English is very important. And I asked her, she doesn't give anything. Like I told the principal, Mom, I'm waiting for that. I will not to say that they are lacking with it because it's very rude for me. Like I will tell that from August until this time, we don't have the call that you mentioned earlier about the PLC. We don't have that single any
Mm,
sharing. But with your sharing right now, with the, even as that talk, I could learn. I mean, oh, I could apply that one because I'm lacking to it.
yeah. Well,
No,
yeah, you can do the literature circle where you would group your students. You do it as a class first. You kind of lead them. So for
yeah,
example, you can do what was the strategy there? Something bowl, fishbowl strategy.
yes, fishbowl.
Yeah, where you have a group of students in the middle, right, that you're doing an example group, and the rest are outside the circle, and then you're teaching the inside. So for example, this is a sample group in the middle of the circle, and say, okay, this is, the role of the leader is this, the role of the analyzer is this, the role of the reporter is this, and so on. So whatever, you have the Google literature circle and look
Yes, yes,
go.
yes. I'm gonna
Yeah,
do that one
yeah,
today because
yeah.
it's my challenging because they will look at me this coming Monday for the new strategy that I'm going to apply. I mean, someday I told her that actually, ma'am, I just do myself. Like I'm exploring. Like if this strategy is not effective, I do the other one though. But
Yeah,
yeah, I told her.
but there's a lot of strategy art that you could use. The first one that I did when I was before we read any of our text of our book, then I always look for at least 4 or 5 vocabulary words that I think multisyllabic words, some harder words that I think they may struggle on. So I identify those. So once I identify those, then I will make a four square, four square strategy where you have a I don't know if you can see, but you have this four square, right? And then on the
Yes.
four square, I don't know if you can,
Yeah.
it was like making notes in here all over. But on the four square, then maybe they put the word here. So for
Mhm.
example, the word, give me a paraphernalia, something big words like that. So then you have to put the word here, and then they have to make their own definition of what that word is. And another one, they could draw something with that word in there, and then they use it
A sentence.
a
Yes,
sentence.
that's a
So you have
sentence.
your
Yeah.
four word
Yeah.
vocab, and then I put another layer to that. Once they have done that, then they have to present as a group the word with put all those words in the board, and then they have to act out something. You have to come up with a scenario, a role play, and then the rest of the class have to guess what word do you think they are doing that time,
Oh.
because they will not say the word. For example, paraphernalia, they would be like having a situation there with a paraphernalia in it, and then the storyteller would say, but they would stop before they would say the word. They would stop and not say the word, because you have the rest of them guess. I mean, the kids loved it. Even my 11th
Yeah.
graders, they loved it because they were
Yeah.
acting out. So then the audience also at the when they finish, the audience get to do a feedback, like, oh, I love the way, oh, your storyteller is so funny, your storyteller is very, very, you can really very clear and big voice, and so and so I love your acting, so they would do stuff like that, positive. And if there's something to improve, they have to sandwich it in. You might want, as a group, you might want to do this, so you
Yeah.
tell them, yeah, but you model that as a teacher. You give them the feedback, and then you said, okay, I want somebody to, I'm modeling to you how to do a feedback, and then now somebody else do a feedback just similar to what I did. I do that
Wow.
with everything. When I do debriefing on anything, I always model it. Then I had them to do it. So anytime the students present something, I always have the audience. Sometimes I would have it in written form. Like I give them this, I would cut these pieces in four, scratch paper, for example, that I recycled. I will give them each one, and then they have to put their comments on it. They put their names on it, or they don't have to put their names on it. And then I collect it, and then I give it to the group, but I don't give it to the group while the others are presenting, because then,
Okay. Yes. Yes.
yeah. But
Yeah.
it's like at the end of the period, it's like a present. Here's a present for you. Here's a present for you. Here's a present for you. And then they look at the feedback, which is really
Yeah.
powerful, because, you have these kids validating each other. But at the same time,
Yes.
you also know what they need to improve as a group, because the
Yes.
group stays for a month. That group there, I group them and they stay as a month. So that way they get to know each other. And so anyway, and they name the group, they make a t-shirt for the group, and they make all kinds of banner and things like that for the group, so that they really own the group. And then I would have this if I have 4 groups, I would have these 4 things, like 4 little nails or something that they could hang. Then I would hang these links, or you can do a giant paper clip. And I would put that clip together when they do something good, and when it reaches the floor, they would get the word that I told them that we would do. It's a pizza party or lunch with me, and I bring dessert, things like that. So I would tell them ahead of time, this is what you're working for, and then they would, it's always a contest between them, because, the whole group got their homework done, or nobody misbehaved. So I want you to put that clip up, And so anyway, but they're so crazy about like wanting to be.
Yes.
Yeah, and because they could see that somebody was already about to the floor and theirs was still beginning, And so it's a peer pressure thing. They want they call each other. They say, hey, don't forget your homework, because we're not gonna get our links, our paperclip. So anyway, so any little things like that you could do, because that's motivating them,
Yeah,
It's
that's
friendly
yeah.
competition.
Wow, thank you for that. It's really awesome, Doc. Like to hear that. I mean, with my 11th grade, I could have the one story instead of two,
Yeah,
because it's yeah,
yeah,
and that's very like, even though it's one, but it's like they could learn and
yeah.
just yeah, they could learn and they enjoy the class.
Yeah, it's not the story that's really that's important. It's really what you're teaching with the story.
Yes, yes,
Right?
yeah,
So you look at your standards and see what standards you're going to be hitting. Okay. And so then you can also do a reader's theater, where they read it the first time, cold read, and then, then after that they have to read it with expression and in the front of the class, and they just read it, but their expression has to be like they're doing a theater,
wow,
and all this. So yeah, that's
wow,
and
that's good.
also find out if there is an audio for the book. Most of the titles have audio. If you contact the company or you go to the website, they may have some audio. And if you have the audio for that, the audio could actually read for them the first time. And then if you want them to like practice the reading for the reading fluency or automaticity, then you can have them for the second time. Then
Yeah,
that
so
way,
follow up.
yeah.
And then the analyzing will do the stuff for the third. Okay,
Yeah,
for the
story
third.
elements. Yeah, you do the story elements. And what the story elements, I love that you have them to draw themselves,
The
like
plot.
lay down on the floor, and you trace the whole body, and then they have this the head might be your the title. I mean, what was it? Anyway, there's Milet did that, I think.
The
Anyway, something
climax,
that the characters are thinking, the
the
thought.
cash flow. Yeah,
Yeah,
the thought.
the thoughts that the character's thinking. And then the hands would be what the character's doing, and so where the heart is what their feelings, and all this. So they have to put on this big paper thing. So one of the group member would have that paper of themselves, and then the other members would be writing, okay, what are the thoughts of the character 1, character 2, and then what are the things that they're doing by the arm, and then all the body could be your, the rest of the elements
Yeah.
there or whatever. So anyway,
Wow.
so yeah, you can do things like that as a
Good.
strategy. Yeah.
Wow. That's good because I don't have problem with the grammar and writing because it's like I could do some topic like high school prompts, any issues, they could easily do that one for the 12 graders and the 9, but with this the reading comprehension stuff with the literature I have a problem with it, but it's
Yeah.
okay.
Do
Now I
some
learned now.
if you email me, I will send you a whole bunch of
Oh, okay.
strategies.
Wow.
Yeah. I
Yes,
will
Doc.
send it to you. It describes how to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
Yeah.
that one. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Oh.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. I think it's just that you can even have them write the characters. So instead of a prompt, you say, okay, we for Diary of Anne Frank, I want you to choose any character that you want to write to. And you need to make sure you tell them how you feel. Are you empathetic? Do you feel sorry for them? Whatever, are you writing to the German, the villain? So, what what are you, what do you want them to do? You tell them that this is, but they get choices. Like I always give my students that there has to be a choice. So I don't just give them, okay, everybody has to write to Anne. No, they don't have to. They could write from the father's perspective, from the other guest in that house they were hiding in. The other guests could write to them and tell them specific things, because that's also comprehension. You get to know
Yes.
kids actually read the book based on what they said. Right? Yeah.
Yes.
So acting out, and if you do the gallery walk, you can always have them on different four corners. If you have four different groups, and they could do in the corner, and they could put their, like sticky note or index card or whatever,
Yes.
and there, and then you ring the bell, and then they would go as a group. They would go look at each corner, and they would do the gallery walk. And another feedback thing is you give them a sticky note, and they will put the group one's feedback. They could be stuck in there, so they would have a written feedback to each group. So they would go to the next one, they put their feedback there, and so on. And so everybody, when they get back to their own corner, they see everybody's feedback. So
Wow.
so that's a good thing to have too. Anyway, you can tell I really enjoy those strategies. So I've used so
Yes.
many of them. Yeah.
Yeah, the students really enjoy with that.
Yeah, they are, because
Yeah.
they're up and out of their seats. And the thing is, if you have them as a pair, like if you know the students already and their abilities, you can actually form your seats where they are in partners. They can, that way it's automatic friend, automatic partner already when they read, and they could process together. So they're doing think, pair, share, for example. I want you to think, and then as a pair, talk to your partner and share what your thoughts about this. If you're doing the 10-2 strategy, where you're doing 10 minutes of something, that lesson, and then you stop for 2 minutes and you let them process. So you're doing the think, pair, share / 10-2 strategy. So you're doing two strategies at
That's
once.
what it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have your think, pair, share. You can even do think, pair, write, share, TPWS. Yeah, they have
Yeah.
to write something, and then they would share it. Because I always say the think part is like the brain warm. You're warming your brain. You're thinking about what you're gonna be sharing. So you're brain warming. So if you're brainstorming, that includes the other person. But if you're brain warming, it's just by yourself. You're getting ready to share your thoughts. But then research has shown that students actually learn more from each other than the teacher.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Yes.
any opportunities you have of having them work together, that's a plus for you and the students, because they will actually remember it better, because for some reason they have a way to talk to each other more than we could reach them. They're able to reach each other. So I would always encourage the teachers I teach, to have your students work together. Any opportunities you have to work
Yes.
together is always a good thing. And another thing that I like doing too is, if you buy those Play-Doh or modeling clay at Walmart, and I buy those, I have them in the room all the time, and you can have them do a sculpture of the character, and that way you're doing your artistic students are able, you're addressing their needs. And you can have them, your musically intelligent students, you can have them make a rap or make a song or whatever, poetry about the story. So you kind of know. I mean, if you give them the MI test, the multiple intelligences test, it is online. You can Google it, and then it prints what kind of intelligence they have. So then you can kind of know which kids are what.
Yes.
And they know too. They know too if they're really big on music. They know too. So he said, okay, then you can give them choices again. Like, okay, for those that are really big into music, this is a choice for you. And for those who like to draw, this is a choice for you. You could draw the setting of the story, all this. And remember, the setting means the where and the when. So if it's at nighttime, most of the stories happen about nighttime, then I need to have a night scene, right? And then where it is. So if it is Anne Frank and they're hiding in the attic, then I want to see, and all that. So some details over there that it shows that it is an attic, and all this. But anyhow, so you can then, by the time they present it with all these different intelligences, then the stories would really be coming alive for your students, because they have a drawing there, they have the song there, they have the, maybe a letter to the character, whatever it is that you're gonna be doing. Your mathematical or logical students, math, they look for numbers in a story. Have them connect
Yes.
numbers in
Yes, so I agree with that, because I have also like very like the students like advanced in language, because I have like two autism students, and they're good in science and English,
Mhm.
and compared to the regular students.
Yeah.
And
See, now you know your students. And so you have to not forget your naturalistic students, your students that like nature. So they might be going to outside and getting a rock and then have them to paint the character on the rock, something that relates outside. So a rock thing is always a good thing because you can always paint on those rocks, and they share it. And so when they present as a group, when they present these ideas, 4 or 5 different things that you want them to do as a group, because using their intelligences, then they will get busy. And what the thing with that is you have to develop a kind of a task list, I call it. And it's a task list is that, for this activity, you need this, this, and this. So you need 5 products, for example. So I need a poem, a poem, a song, or whatever, letter, and then a drawing, and then a thing, whatever. And then you put how many points that is worth to make 100. So for example, there are 5 things there, that's 20 each.
yes, there is a rubric stuff.
Yeah.
Rubrics.
You can provide a rubric, but at the same time, when you have that, it's almost like a task list for them to know that, so 20 points for the whole thing, but we could lose 2 points with the grammar. Don't give too many points for the grammar. Creativity could be another 2-3 points, but the content has to be the biggest part of it. So if you have 20, you can do 5 points for creativity and grammar, but then the 15 will have to be the meat itself. So you don't want to punish them for not being creative, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to punish them a lot by not being good at grammar. You want to know their thoughts. You want to know the meat of the whole content that they're doing. Okay, so I hope that helps you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Provided
Thank you
too
for
many
that.
ideas.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
when I do workshop, they actually I do those strategies with teachers, and it's kind of neat because later on they would text me, and they would say things like, "Oh, I used the strategy that you showed in the workshop," and they would take pictures of the students doing it. And one of my favorite things, let me find another piece of paper. Okay, I want you to talk to each other.
Let's reach.
Okay, so another thing that's my favorite, if you have 3 pieces of paper, and I like the colored ones. If you buy the colored ones, they're not too expensive, like $5 or $6 a whole packets. So can you see? Okay, so if you have 3 pieces of paper, right? And can you see it?
Yes, Doc. Yes, Doc.
Hang on. Okay, if you have 3 pieces of paper and you would try to do a foldable. Let me change I'll do a virtual, change my background. So none. Okay, so if you have 3 pieces of paper and you would do this, you would do I would do a space like this. So you have done, you have done the spacing, like the space. So there's 1, 2, and then 3, right? And when I fold it over. And now I have 6. So when I fold the whole thing over, I just want to make sure that there's still spaces. So you end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here's your title here. So for example, I did a polar bears, do a research on polar bears. I gave the kids choices on their favorite animal and what they want to know about that animal. So you can do All About Polar Bears by Merlina McCullough. And these are the 5 categories that I would like to talk about. So I might do their diet. I might do their environment, where do they live at? And then I might do how they take care of the young, any categories that you have. And then whenever the question is here, the answer will be opening and it will be the answers here. And it had to come with a drawing or whatever. And so then the last part, the biggest one right here, is the creative one. They can do a drawing, a whatever else that they want creative. That's called other. I call it other. But then you staple it on the side right here. staple in the end. Okay, so that way it's like a book. And the nice thing about this is that you take like a fishing line and you hang it outside your your classroom, and it hangs. So a bunch of your students will have this project there, and you make them colorful, of course, decorate it, so markers, I encourage you to do markers or colored pencils or crayons in order for it to be colorful. And so for a story, you can do the title of the story, and you could do the elements. So you can do the setting, the characters, the problems, the solution, and so on, and then the creative thing. So anyway, you can do a timeline for social studies. In the beginning of the year, I use this as like an introduction about myself. So I would say, I want you to list 4 or 5 important things that happen in your life. So this would be All About Me by Merlina. And I would say the first important one would be when I left the Philippines, for example, if I start with that. So in October 30, 1987 was when I left the Philippines. And then, maybe I'll start with when I got married, July 7, and then left the Philippines. And then here I, had Jet, had Stephanie, or finished my doctorate. Any of the important things that happened in my life, I would put on that. Timeline. So that's a very, very flexible thing that you can do. So anyhow, who, what, where, when, and how. If you're doing nonfiction, I like to do the story. When there's a nonfiction, my favorite strategy is called GIST, GIST, and it's called a GIST because you're gonna tell the gist of the story in 25 words or less. So I'm gonna make a line, 25 line. So in the 25 lines, they put the title here, and they have to write the summary of the story with the who, answering the who, what, where, when, and how in 25 words or less. And of course, I do not count the preposition. So I don't count the on, the articles and preposition. I do not count those little words, but they have to do the main word. So if it's an on, for example, just put it in between. They don't count as a 25. And then they have to, so for example, if I'm doing 4 different articles for my 4 different groups, so I put them in a folder, already with this forms in here that they do, and then with the newspaper report or journal or whatever I'm wanting them to do, and it's already there. And then they have to, of course, I model this at first together, but once they know it, then they will come up together with, always have to give them a time alert. Like, you have 10 minutes to do this. And then if they're not finished, like, oh, I'm gonna give you 2 more minutes, whatever, that way they'll really be on task. And then after they do this as a group or as a pair, then they present it to the class. They may read the article, or they just kind of do a summary of it, but then this is our specific summary in 20 words or less. Of course, in order to differentiate your gifted kids, your very smart kids, give them less words. So instead of 20, they might do 15.
15, yes.
So for your special ed, you might give them more lines. So anyway, so yeah, I like the gist because they get to be in the front and present their gist. But then you also give them that little time to do the work. And then when they are doing the work, I want you to share with your students, because especially if you have behavioral issues, that you have levels of noise. 0 means quiet. That means when I'm talking, you should be on level 0. Level 1 means that you are whispering. So when you're doing this gist, you should be on level 1. You're whispering, you're doing inside voices with your group members. So you're level 1. Level 2 is when you're just talking, regular talking, but then level 3 is when you present, your presentation voice is your level 3. So I should not be hearing level 3 at all until we get ready to present, right? And so on the talking part, you might not want to do that while you are doing the group thing, because you really need to be on level 1. You don't want anybody taking your ideas, or, I used to say, I want you to think of the others as Russian spies and you American spies, and the Russian spies are trying to get your ideas. So you better whisper, I used to say that to my elementary kids and they fall for it, but you can do that in high school. But anyway, but you can tell them the levels. And in that way, all you have to do is just put 0 or 1, just they know what that means. 1 means you're whispering. Okay. So anyway, so, or you can remind them, hey class, what level are we supposed to be? one. So how come I'm hearing a lot of level 2s and 3s? That's not good. So anyhow, so you can use those things like that, some strategies like that. Anybody else from someone here that might
Yeah.
share
Yeah.
what other things that you have done? What, Arthur, can you share some strategies that were successful to you?
All right. Okay. So what I did is that, like, of course, especially I'm dealing with my grammar, because with that, I will present first, um like an examples, and then after that one, I just ask the students furthermore about this, like in the sentence, if they could not understand some of those words that I'm using, I simplify that one and will ask the students. And then with that, we did the understand with some words, and then they will create also some sentences. I ask the whole group, and then after that, I will we group that one into a small group, and then we'll create a good sentence, and they will present it to the front.
Okay, good. Start. Yeah, you always need to teach grammar in context. In context
Yeah.
means part of writing, so that now you're starting with a sentence. So later
Yeah.
on, tell them to do 2 sentences and 3 sentences.
Yes, those
Later
are
on, to tell them a whole paragraph. So you can kind of do a baby step on it. I don't know what the levels of your students are, but if they are very advanced, then they could already do maybe one paragraph for you. But you have to just maybe start with words for your special ed kids, and then now let's form into a sentence. I used to call it give me $1 million sentence. What do you mean $1 million sentence, Miss McCullough? I'm like, well, if it has 12 words or more, I call that $1 million sentence because there's 12 words in there. You
Yeah,
can
because
15 words.
yeah, because like here in the States, like only few could make like paragraph, like mostly just only shirt. Like if you try to let them answer, like maybe they could have a 3 to 4 words. That's it. They will not. I also teach them how to answer questions, like based on the question, and they will start it, the
Mhm.
introduction, because they go directly with the answer mostly.
Yeah, but you have to
Yeah.
train your students that that's not acceptable. That in
Yes,
my
it's not.
class, it's not acceptable that I am gonna be expecting you to do a complete sentence. Even when you answer me, one sentence, one word is not acceptable to me. I'm allergic to that.
Yeah.
I'll have rashes and you have to take me to the hospital because I'm gonna be allergic to that.
Yeah.
And so they just think that's funny, but that reminds them that, oh, Miss McCullough does not want one word. She wants it to be elaborated. And by the way, that's what separates the kids in poverty and kids in middle class or wealth, or kids in wealth, because the difference in the vocabulary that they have been exposed is a difference between a second grader and a ninth grader when they first come into school. That's how much
Yeah.
difference, a 7-year gap, because of the words that are not being used at home. So for example, a child in poverty, maybe the parents may not have much education, for example, and then they would just say, stop. And that's all. One word, stop. But if you're a middle class, and I said, I must be acting like a middle class because Jet, you stop. Tell me why you should not be doing this. And then he has to tell me, see, this is not good because, and I'm forming sentences, I'm telling him, and he's modeling that to tell me, because that's what I want him to do, is being verbal and being able to explain himself. And so then later on, that actually will transfer towards writing. But that anything that you do at home as parents, even, the print awareness. My husband said, do you ever stop teaching? Because I was always teaching my kids. I'm like, oh, look at the M. Look at the M. What's that? You see the McDonald's? What is this? You see the M? That's how you form the M, And all this,
Oh.
always, yeah, I was always everywhere we see. It was like, oh, what is that color? Let's play. I spy with my little eyes. I spy
Yeah.
with my little eyes something green. Trees. So when we are driving, we would do that.
Yeah,
And
so with that question, like there is a critical thinking with it, right? Oh, really? Yeah, that's something you can figure it out
yeah,
because we.
yeah. And they're kids. Yeah, they're kids. And then I would do like a story in the car. We have so many. Maybe that's why my kids were smart, because I was always teaching them. But in the car, we would be traveling. We traveled a lot. So in the car, I would say things like, okay, I'm gonna make, when they were elementary, okay, I'm gonna make a word. For example, It has to be 2 syllables or 3 syllables. I would say that. For example, give me a word, guys. Anybody? Erwin, give me a word with 2 syllables or more in math.
Hello, Doc. In math,
Minus,
syllables.
huh?
It's hard, I
Minus,
think.
minus 2 syllables.
Minus.
Fraction.
Okay.
Fraction.
A function. Okay, got it.
Multiplication.
So for example, the word is function, right? And so my word is function, and the next word, the next person had to start with an N, because my word ends with N. Then that next word has to be, start with N, and so on. So it's helping them with spelling, and you can learn
Wow,
this
I
in
love
class
it.
too. Yeah. And when you're teaching the kids nouns, and remember when we were little, we would play like name, place, thing, whatever, name, place, things, and on the board, on the paper. I put that on the board, name, place, things, whatever, start with letter A. So they have to go in there as a contest and would say, okay, group team 1, team 2, team 3, go. And then they would do
So, so Doc,
place.
there is what we call category. Like for example, that the words that we're using right now is the house words. So they could connect any
Mhm.
words that's ending with N, and they like thinking what word you will connect, and then like that. Oh, that's good.
Right.
How
And
many
then
times?
this one thing this gets a lot of people that are new. Okay, maybe I could get some of you. I don't know if you know this one. Okay, guys, let's see if who can go with me. I'm gonna go to Alabama, and I'm taking with me some apples, and I will be doing some I'm gonna be buying some angelic things there. So who wants to go with me? Let me start. Let me start. Take 2. My name is Anna. I'm going to Alabama. I'm taking some apples with me, and I'm gonna be buying some angelic things. So who wants to go with me? You have to tell me your name, where you're going, what you're bringing with you, and what you're gonna buy. So who wants to go with me? Joanne, you want to go with me?
Okay.
Okay.
I am Joanne, and I'm going to Laguna here in the Philippines.
You can come. You can go. Nope.
Oh, so sad.
You didn't get
Okay,
it.
then.
Sorry. You'll
I,
find
I,
out.
I did not get it. I'm trying to check with Anna, but then okay, go.
Okay. So remember, I'm Anna. I'm going to Alabama. I'm taking some apples with me, and I'm gonna be buying some angelic things. So
I
okay, Mike.
go.
Okay, Arthur, did you want to come?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring
Okay.
academic stuff.
Okay, good. Okay, what
Academic
else? Where
stuff.
are you going?
I think I'm going to join.
No, A is still A.
Oh, wait, don't say that. Don't say
Oh,
that. You're silly.
I'll bring an
Sorry,
alcohol.
we already know. So it's gonna start with A. Everything should start with A. Because a while ago, Dr. Merlina, you started with Alabama, so I thought it's gonna be Alabama. So I got it.
So
Okay.
Erwin, okay, Joanne then. Joanne, tell me what you want to do. Tell me your name.
Okay. I am Angelic, and I'm
No, you
going
can do A. I
to.
already did A. You have to do.
Oh, okay. So I am Barbie,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to Baclaran,
Okay. What are you taking with you?
and I'm going to be bringing with me my baon.
Okay.
I'm doing
And what are you gonna buy
Tagalog
there?
words.
What are you gonna buy there?
I will be buying in Baclaran Parot Saya.
She can come with me. Yay, you can come with me. And Arthur can come with me. Erwin, can you come with me?
I think so.
Okay,
I'm
so
going
tell
to
me your
bring some
name and where you're
bags.
going.
I'm Angelo, and I'm going to Alabama, Baclaran.
Oh,
Yeah.
if you're Angelo and you're going to McLaren, you can.
Oh, it should be the
Joanne, he
same.
can come, right?
I'm Angelo. I'm going to
Sorry, you cannot come.
No,
Try it
you
again. Try it again.
cannot.
Okay, we'll come back to Erwin. Mike, what do you want to? You want to come? Tell me. You can still say you're.
Yes, Doc.
Fine. Okay, where are you going, Mike?
Yes, Doc.
Go, Sir Mike.
Okay.
I am Charlie.
Okay.
I'm going to California.
Okay. What you bringing?
I will bring some chocolates.
Okay.
Ooh, yummy.
What are you gonna buy there?
And I'm going to buy my new coat for Christmas.
Hope for Christmas. Okay. Do you, Joanne, can he come? And
He will surely
Mark,
come
yep, he can come.
for
Yay.
free, for free.
For free, he can come. Okay. Now back to Erwin. See if Erwin can come now. Erwin?
I am Erwin,
Okay. Where are you
and
going?
I'm going to Europe.
Okay. What you gonna bring with you?
I'm going to bring some electric fan.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. What you gonna buy
It's
there?
not there. And I'm going to buy electric wires for
Okay.
electric fan.
Okay. My Joanne Art, can he come?
Oh, no.
Why not?
Why?
Mike,
Not
he can come. Mike, he can come.
well, because he
Erwin,
skipped something.
Okay, can I have
But if we're
mine?
gonna follow the E rule, then he can come.
Okay,
How
me.
the
many-
EEE
All right,
rule.
I'm going. Okay, I am Art. I'm going to Arizona, and
Uh-huh.
I'm going to bring Amon.
Uh-huh. And
What's
you
the
buy?
next?
Or you
I will
buy?
buy Arts.
Okay, got it.
Arts.
Can he come? Can he come? Yes, he can come. He can
Yeah.
come. Julius is here. You can come, Julius. You want to go? See if Julius got the pattern yet. Julius is new. Or Maria Cristina. Or Fran. Come on, anybody. Come on. Who wants to go? We're playing a game here. Because this is something you can play with your students too. Or
Wow, I love.
who wants to come in? Diana, did you listen? Say, for example, I'm Merlina, okay? So I'm Merlina, I'm going to Manila, and I'm bringing some Manila envelopes, and then when I get there, I will buy some marinade sauce. You want to come with me, Diana? So say your name.
Yeah, because I love cooking.
Okay, so you are Diana, and then where are you going?
I'm Diana, and I'm going to National Bookstore.
Nope, she can come. She can come already. She can come. Erwin, can she come? Nope, she can't come yet. You have to know the pattern. Maria, we'll come back to you. Maria, Christina Talents. Well, who are you? Tell me. Oh, you have to unmute for yourself first.
Morning, okay. I'll try if I can go with you.
Okay.
I'm Maria. I'll go to the market.
What? Supermarket?
Market.
Huh? To the market?
To
Go to the market, okay.
To the market.
Okay.
Yes, to the market.
What are you bringing with you?
I'm going to bring sorry, Doc. I'm low, but wait. Sorry, Doc.
Are you gonna be bringing your mom with you?
Mom.
Okay.
Your mama?
Yes,
Yes.
my mom.
Okay.
To the market. I'm going to bring my mom.
Okay, what you gonna buy there?
What's the last?
What do you want to buy? What do you want to buy there? In the market.
I'll buy manzanas. Oh,
okay.
manzanas. No.
Can he come? Everybody, can she come? Can she come? Yes, she can come. Okay, Fran, you want to come?
Yes.
Try it, Fran.
Yes,
okay.
I can try.
Okay.
I'm Francis. I'm going to France.
Okay.
And I'm buying some flowers and fruits there.
Okay. And what do you want to bring with you?
Flower.
Oh, can she come? Yes, she can
Yes,
come.
she
My cousin
can.
can come. Yay. Okay, we still want to hear from Julius or teacher Doreen. Any of you guys, come up. And Gigi is here too.
What was it, ma'am?
Okay, Doreen, do you want to come to a trip with us? I'm Merlina. I'm going to Manila, and I'm bringing some mosquito net, and I am buying some marmalade.
Yeah. Yeah. My name is Zareen. I'm going to Colorado. I'm gonna bring a loaves of. No, it's not.
No.
You have to pay attention to what the pattern is, okay?
Yeah.
So we'll come back to you, Doreen. Who else want to try?
Oh, please save me.
Erwin, do you
Can
wanna
I
do you
try
wanna
that?
help Doreen? Erwin, help Doreen for me. That's what the
Well,
by the way.
I think Ma'am Doreen could go to Dubai and bring some durian.
Mm-hmm. And buy
Yeah.
what?
And buy some what do you call that?
Some decor?
Dates.
Um
You buy some dates. It's
Dates will be
famous there.
good.
dates. Yeah, dates.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
she can go, right? And then she can go. Okay.
Yes.
Doreen,
Oh, thank you, Erwin. Thank you for that.
so Doreen, can you come up with other items now? Now that you see the pattern?
Maybe can I have it next time?
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So Gigi, did you want to come? Or Julius or Maverick? And you don't have to, you know, in my classroom, I never force my students. If they don't want to, I'm just going to let them be, you know, but they see other examples already. But that doesn't mean they get away with it. That week, they have to be called. You know, what I
Yeah,
do in my classroom is
I think with
Go ahead.
that, Doc, I agree with that. Maybe the student's not yet ready, and then they're, even though they say no, but they're thinking
I
because
think
they don't like to be embarrassed or something with the classmates. So they were waiting when the students are ready for that.
right, exactly. And that's why I asked them, like, I want you to call a friend to help you, like Doreen, you know, you
Oh wow,
help.
that's yes.
That's
Yeah, I think
exactly
that's a
what
good
I do in my
idea.
classroom. Yeah, I always do that because I don't want to embarrass anybody. Okay, friends, you need to make sure she's need the lifeline here. She's calling a lifeline. You need to help her. Throw her throw her a life-saving jacket or whatever. You know, because it's a friendly family feel atmosphere. You never want people to think that you're trying to get them. You know, you're there to kind of think together. And if somebody cannot think yet, then you need to help them. Like Erwin helped Doreen, right? And so Doreen, the pattern was it's if your name start with a D, you have to also go to a D place and bringing a D word, a D thing, and then buying a D thing. It's also a D. Okay, that's why it's Merlina, Manila, you know, marmalade, and you know. So anyway, so that's what it is. And some kids will get it immediately, and some kids would take time to do it. And then once they get it, they were like, oh, I can't wait. You know, they want to do other names. So you have to remember that you have to give everybody a chance. So any games that you have in the Philippines would work here, by the way. You know, because some of the teachers have this misunderstanding that when they come to the US, then they have to completely change everything. Like they cannot use the things they use in the Philippines. Yes, you can. These are just kids in different pants, in different colors. You know, they instead of brown, they may be black, they may be white, but they're still
Why?
kids. They're still kids, right? Art, do you agree with that?
Oh, yes, I agree with that. Yeah.
So okay, talking back about school. Okay, I had a meeting Thursday when I was at Brinkley. You see my reels there. I posted a reel about my Brinkley visit. And the superintendent is there, Dr. Poole, and Kendrick, the guy that's in African American guy with her. Kendrick is the HR, the human resource guy in West Memphis, and he had me to make a list of people that they are hiring 9 people. There are 9 buildings, and they're putting 1 person per building as a pilot. And when they like it, when the principal likes it, then they are going to hire more. But this is like a pilot, 1 per building. And so they will need high school, junior high, middle school, and some elementary. And so he gave me like a list of how many of each that they want. And I can't really say who to hire. They have to interview the folks that I recommend. They will interview you and then they decide who wants to be here. And so Fran, since she's a cousin of mine, I'm biased. I put you there. And anyway, but they also want to bring some people that's already here, but they cannot steal from another Arkansas teacher. They just feel like, well, all these superintendents have this meeting every year, and they don't want to be stealing from each other's teachers. So the rule for West Memphis is we cannot steal another Arkansas teacher. If they're already here in Arkansas and working for an Arkansas school, we cannot steal them. But if they are from another state, open sesame. So if you're another state and you're interested, they need some people that are already here. And so if you're interested, you give me an email. Send me an email. I have your resume still, unless you have updated it. and I'll be glad to forward it to him because I'm supposed to do that this weekend for him. So I have already kind of gathering some of that file to send to him, so he would have everybody's paperwork. And so anyway, so you should be, Erwin, I know he will start with you because he was impressed with your video, because I used Erwin's video as a show and tell video to the superintendent and to the human resource guys. I showed him the video, so we watched Erwin in a big screen in the
Wow.
conference room.
I'm a little
Wow.
nervous, Doc. I think I'm
And
a
then
little,
Mr.
nervous.
Yeah, and Mr. Kendrick was like, I want that guy. And I'm like, well, hire that guy.
Wow.
Oh my God.
And so I said, okay, you need. So last Thursday when I saw him, and I said, okay, you need to interview Erwin. Okay, I'm gonna be sending you his stuff. I said, okay, I'll start with him because I can't. He said, I need them to be here by the coming school year. So we need to get started with the paperwork so that they will be here by the time July comes. You know, you will be here to teach, ready for school. And of course, it's some of, if they don't pay for the premium processing, which is 2,500 extra, if they don't pay for that, then it takes a few months. But if they pay for that within 2 weeks, you'll know the result. And luckily for Mike can attest to this, their school actually paid for premium processing. So they knew immediately in 2 weeks that if they were denied or approved. And when they were denied or they need more evidence, then we answered it immediately. Huh, Mike? Tell them about the story, Mike, if you don't mind to share.
Yes po, Doc.
Yeah.
I remember it was September. Yeah, I think it's September because after pandemic last 2020, I go for vacation because I'm anticipating that I will not spend my 2023 2022 Christmas in the Philippines, but unfortunately, um I know God's delayed it. Um After the premium process, there's a notification from the USCIS that
Mhm.
they need, or the school still needs, the RFE, request for evidence, to
Mhm.
justify that they really need the four of us. So it's like we resubmit some of the what do you call this,
I know
the
with some letters,
certificate
some
of
supporting
employment.
evidence. Yeah.
Yeah, certificate of employment, and
Mhm.
also, of course, the justification from the school district that they really in need of teachers, and they cannot find any teachers here in Arkansas.
Mhm.
And luckily, when I was in the Philippines last December, we received our notice of approval. And yeah, and I think we will be celebrating our first year of receiving our notice of approval here in the USA. And unfortunately, Doc, I didn't receive yet the approval of my my family's H4 extension, but it's still I already submitted it, but there's no approval yet. And think it's on December 8th, yeah. That
Okay.
will be the expiration of their visa. But nothing to worry about because my visa was already renewed, and it will be until 2026. So I will be here until 2026. Then after that, hopefully they will renew it. And praying for that, after, I think, Doc, after 6 years, after 5 years, we can apply our green card, right, without employer.
Yeah, you can actually do your EB2A, which is your advanced degree because you have your master's degree, Mike. You can actually do a self application for yourself, and then or if they do it, they will pay for it. So anyway, so you have two options, okay? You have your EB2, which is your 2A, which is your as an advanced degree person, and the second option is the interest waiver, I think. So that would be a path to green card. So if you have that 485 adjustment of status, and then you have that I-140 is already done for you, right? So you just need to do your adjustment of status, and then And then you should be, if you approve on that, then you will be getting your green card because you're H1B, you're not J1. So
Yes po.
being H1B, you kind of got halfway done already. So, but the thing with the 6 years is that once you get your 6 years with H1B, that's the limit. And if you're not changed your status yet, then you have to go, you are required to go to another country, Philippines, wherever, for a year before you can come back in. So because there's a 6 year before you can start over with another 6 years. So that's what the deal with H1B. That's why you have to talk to the school, or you can do it yourself, save some money, to do a green card paperwork. You know, it has to be sent about a year or more before it expires, because they look at the date. And if it's not 1 year or more, that means that you waited too long, because it could take that long, and you will be out of status. So you have to plan ahead, like on your 5th year or before your 5th year, you need to go ahead and submit that. And then that way, you will still, as long as your application is pending, you will be okay. You can stay here until you hear from them. So that's how it works, is that once you have done your paperwork, then the waiting period is okay. You're not illegal. But anyway, so that's what you can do. I was yesterday, I spent maybe 2 or 3 hours trying to get the steps on how to do Maria's, because Maria, this is her 3rd year on J1. So her option would be to either do an IW national interest waiver, which is an EB2C, and an EB2B or A, I think it's A, is the other one is the advanced degree, which you will be under the advanced degree. And it seems like that would be the option that she needs to take. And then there's another one, adjustment of status, and then there's of course the premium processing. So you're talking about $4,000 something is what it will be. But if the school would sponsor it, the school will be paying for it.
So before the expiration of our second 3rd year, 3 years, sorry, 3 years, on the 5th year, we can start our application, right?
Yes. It has to be.
So without employer.
Before that, Mike, you can do that as long as it's not like less than a year. It has to be more than a year, so that you're allowing yourself more than a year to get approved. So you don't have to wait till the 5th year. You can do like your 4th year.
Do we still need the employer or any
Well, you have
sponsor
two
or employer?
options. You can do on the master and the advanced degree. You can actually do a self application.
Petition. Yeah, I think for the self petition, it's EB1. The maximum, I think you need to have your doctorate degree for that.
That's AB1.
For EB1. Yeah.
AB2 is the one that I'm talking about. That's
for advanced. Yeah. I think I already mentioned that to you, and also to Miss Mills during our meeting. The EB2. Yeah,
that's
the
what you need.
EB2.
Not EB1 is for really famous people, like the historians, all those famous folks from the world. They get the EB1 easily.
Right,
yeah, because you have to prove that you are an expert in your field. So some books that you publish, some journals that you've done, any movies or documentaries you've made, any of those big things that you have to show, and that's EB1. So EB2 would be your advanced degree. As long as you have masters and above, then you can apply for that. You can apply for it. You don't have to have your doctorate on EB2. But on EB3, which is your national interest waiver, those are all 3 of them are path to citizenship, path to green card. So then after your green card, then you will wait, when you have been 5 years, then you can take your citizenship test, then you can be here forever. But because you're H1B, you can buy properties, you can own businesses or whatever. But as J1 person, you cannot. So therefore, so Mike and the 3 others here, the 4 people that are on H1B, they have all the freedom to do that. Just make sure, because what the weird thing that happened was some of them were given 3 years, some were given a year. 2 of you got a year, Mike. So they had to
yes po. I think the renewal of H1B, like po Miss April, the US CIS gave her, I think, until 2025 like the other two.
But you were given a year for some reason. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
2026. Yeah, supposed to be it's 2025, but it's 2026.
26. Yeah, you were given I think they paid back for the year that they messed up. Anyway, but I think, Mike, before that thing expires, you need to go ahead and apply. Either you can convince the school to do it where they pay, or you can do it yourself. Save some money. It's worth it, to save some money yourself, because yeah, it's worth it, because you just save a little bit every month, and by the time few months, you already have it. But that's a very important thing to be able to stay in America, right? So Joanne, you're raising your hand. What's up?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I was absent for several weeks. Um, you were talking about West Memphis, right?
Uh-huh.
Is West Memphis hiring and giving an H-1B visa?
Well, that's what I've convinced them, but I have to
Okay.
talk to them again, because they said to me on our meeting, we have met 3 times already, that they
Okay.
are already convinced, because the first 2 times I was just telling them what J1 versus H1B, right? And so when I left, they were convinced H1B. And then when I saw him Thursday, he's talking about J1 visa, and I'm like, Kendrick, you're just wasting my time, because I explained to you whatever, but I think what happened was there was a teacher from another country, from African country, they want to come, because they wanted to have West Memphis have different countries, Philippines and other countries. And so they got an application that they also like from Africa. And so this guy was already talking to a visa sponsor, which means he was already talking to a J1 thing. And so I said, well, Merlina, I did not know that it's the same as the Philippines. I said, yeah, it's the same. Anywhere in the different countries is the same. So you can help him too, because although he's not Filipino, I'm like, yeah, I can help anybody. And so anyways, so if you're gonna want me to help everybody on H1B, he can be in the H1B group too. He doesn't have to be different just because he's not Filipino under my group. I said, oh, okay. So hopefully that would still be good, because he said that my superintendent gave me the go signal that I could hire anybody now. So I just need
Okay.
to do some interview. Yeah. So they're definitely hiring 9 people. So that's
9 people.
Yeah, 9 people. So they'll be able to put 1 person per building. So you'll have, so in all probability, you might have more than 1 principal there. So they may if you get interviewed, you will have these principals, like they can either do all elementary, all high school, or all of them. I don't know how their schedule works, but he was asking me, and I'm like, you just do whatever you want, and you just for whatever arrangement you do, I'd be glad to help, because they already promised me. But once the 9 people get here, that I will be hired as a consultant to check on you guys. So I will be here with you every week, every 2 weeks. I don't know how they're going to do it much budget wise, because I charge 1,000 a day. So whatever their budget is, that's what they will do. But that's what they said, to guide them. Will you be able to do that? I'm like, yeah, I can put you. If they're my folks, I will definitely put them in my calendar that I will be here, like I do Brinkley every week.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
You've also mentioned about, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Question.
I think it's almost an hour only, so we can easily visit you there. West
Yeah,
Memphis
an
is
hour
still
away.
Arkansas.
It's an
Yeah,
hour away
West
from
Memphis
them.
is
Yeah,
still
it's really
Arkansas.
cool. When I go visit Brinkley, I stay in West Memphis. The best hotel around is West Memphis. There's a new one there. It's a casino hotel, and it's one of the best, and really clean and really nice. And I get free room, so I go there every week. I stay there every week. And that's why last week I was like texting everybody, like, who wants to come and eat buffet with me? All you can eat. Here they call it all you can eat, but I think in the Philippines they call them eat all you can. But here they call it all you can eat. So it's a little backwards, but that's the buffet. And the buffet here is so cool, because they do, like, there's a pasta station where they make everything about pasta, and there's a station for Chinese food. And so I always order like fresh fried rice, and then you can do a pho soup, PHO soup from Vietnamese, thing.
Yeah.
You can do that, and then they have the country cooking, and they have all kinds of dessert. Oh, the next time I come, I'm gonna have to take a picture. Those make a reel. But
Well,
Oh
you
no.
call that international buffet.
yeah, it's like an international
Yeah,
buffet. Yeah,
international
that's
buffet.
what they do.
Yeah,
And
so
Yeah.
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 Have you visited the hibachi here?
Oh yeah, I love Ibachi, because most
Yeah.
did you go to Jonesboro, Mike?
Last time po, but I just attended the athletic meeting, but I did not visit. I did not visit the buffet or the eat all you can restaurant there.
You have to take your family, Mike, to the all you eat all you can by the mall, like across the mall from Jonesboro, because it's a mixed Japanese, Chinese, and American.
Mhm.
So all three. And so, but they do, like, what I like about them is they have plantain bananas, the fried plantain bananas, and they have a bunch of them, and I love them. And then they also have the hibachi, where you would pick your own vegetable and your meat and your sauce, and you give it to them, and they cook it for you right in front of you. They cook it, and I love that because it's so hot food. It's just really good. It's not just sitting there like the other food. It's it's actually hot food. So I always do that. When I see hibachi, I always order those. And of course, they have all kinds of sushi too. That's part of the buffet. So if you like sushi, that would be like Sushi City for you, because there's a lot of seafood. But anyway, Mike, there's hibachi place right there by Cordova. That place in Cordova, like four doors down or something. It's hibachi too. So
Mhm.
yeah, the next time you go to
We
Cordova,
will try it. Yeah.
yeah, you need to go there, because it's really that way. It's so funny. The last time I was there, I think I was there with some other people, maybe Bibi. Anyway, so then she said, whoever was with me said, "Oh, you have friends over there that's in the next room." That she said that she had attended your party, your anniversary party. And I said, it has to be one of the Filipinos then, if they attended my party. So I had to go down there, and you know who I found? Leslie. They were buying their car. They were buying their car. So anyway, that was funny. That I was like, what a small world. Anyway, Joanne, did you raise your hand again?
Yes, but
Okay.
there was a mention a while ago of $2,500. What is that for?
That's a premium processing. That's an
Okay.
I-907. It's a processing request for for you to get your result within 2 weeks.
Okay. Are we the one who's going to be paying it?
Usually,
Or-
if each one be, the school has to pay for it. And every
okay.
school that I help, I always encourage them to pay for it, because otherwise
Okay. But,
you have a 7 to 12 months wait. That's a long time. So
yeah.
most schools would want to know now, so they will pay the 2,500 instead of 2,500. They always say 2,500 here.
2,500. Yeah. It's just
2,500.
that I became very busy because I worked on my FCE. So I've got an FCE now, and then I'm done with my driving lesson. So,
Oh my God, you're ready.
so far,
Okay.
yeah, I'm ready. It's just that I'm getting the
Yeah.
documents now.
And what do you teach again?
I am handling grades 4, 5, and 6 English and science.
Okay, English and science.
Yeah.
And
So I'm working on my cover letter now.
Oh, good.
I'm done Americanizing my, what they call that, resume.
Okay.
Woo!
So Fran
And
is elementary,
I'm
and
practicing my
That's good.
interview.
sorry,
Woo,
Good luck.
kinakabahan na po ako.
yeah. And Giselle
luck
is
for the-
elementary, right? Giselle,
Giselle is also elementary. Yeah.
elementary.
Grade
Yes,
6
Doc.
teaching, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Doc.
Erwin, I know you're my high school math.
Yes,
And,
Doc. High school math, Doc.
High school math, and so Art, are you interested in moving from Miami to Arkansas?
Yeah,
I'm
well,
gonna steal you. It's pretty boring here, though. There's nothing much. There's no ocean. We are landlocked. So
No,
if
I
you're
will-
gonna go to the ocean, it will be, you have to go to Florida.
I will ask also
Um,
my the idea. My friend.
Huh?
I asked
And for
yes.
now, it's
What?
gonna be one big family.
Oh, your family's there. You have a girlfriend there now, so you're not gonna leave, are you?
Ooh.
He's got a girlfriend now. I'm sorry, I should not have said that.
Doc, there is a question coming from Arlene Felias
Okay,
in
Arlene.
the chat.
Yeah, what's your question, Arlene?
Hi, Doc.
Hello, how are you? You're new, right,
Good.
Arlene?
Yes, it's new.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us
Okay.
about you.
I am Arlene Felias from Philippines, who is already here in America. I was actually asking help even when I was in the Philippines here.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't
My
understand.
question,
Are you in the Philippines or are you in America?
In the
I'm
US right now.
in America already.
Okay, what state?
Missouri.
Are you in Missouri? You're close to me, girl. I'm in
Yeah,
Arkansas. Which part of Missouri?
St. Joseph.
Oh, St. Joseph, yeah. That's about let me ask. Hi, Dad. How far is St. Joseph, Missouri from Salem? How far is St. Joseph from Salem, Missouri?
Either way, it's probably about that's on the north side of Missouri, so it's probably 300, 400 miles.
So 7 hours?
Yeah.
7 hours, yeah. About 7 hours from me, for you. So it's close.
Yes, we're there last Thanksgiving, Doc, in Missouri, in
Yeah.
Bentonville.
Oh yeah, but that you have to know that I'm 15 minutes from the southern part of Missouri, and St. Joe is on the northern part of Missouri. It's all
Yeah.
closer to Iowa, right? So, but why did you want to transfer to Arkansas?
I wanna transfer dog to my boyfriend to the state where my boyfriend is.
Where's your boyfriend? Your boyfriend is in
Michigan.
Oh, okay. Well, you have to remember that's cold there, girl. It's really
Yeah,
cold.
it is.
But if you
Yeah,
have a boyfriend, it's okay.
yeah. Doc, I'm just asking how to process these things.
H1B?
No, I'm J1.
Okay. So J1, if you try, I think, I don't know if somebody told me, right? But they said for J1 visa, you have one time that you can transfer without any problems the first time. You know, just I think, was it Mike? Did you hear about that? I don't remember who told me that.
Yes po,
that
Doc.
you have a free
Unlike
one,
po,
huh?
yes po. Yes po. Because unlike po H1B, we cannot transfer to other to
School
other states or
states.
on other school. Unlike po na J1, because the school is not their sponsor, so they can transfer like Miss Abby.
Yeah, Miss
Okay.
Abby moved. Yeah, Miss Abby moved, and it's just a matter of it's
That's a
just
good
a
idea.
matter, Arlene. It's just a matter of asking permission from your
Sponsors.
sponsor. You have to say your sponsor. This is you have to have a good reason, okay? Because like with Abby, she moved because the reason was the distance from home to school, and they were sharing vehicle, and they were living in the same house, so it was really inconvenient. For example, when Abby is tutors for 2 3 hours, and so here Leslie had to wait for that long every day when Abby works like that. So it's kind of not convenient at that time. And so they did that for a year. And so the second year, then they decided, like, let's do a more convenient way. And she was told no by the principal at first. And so he kind of got overridden, and got the superintendent talking to each other. And since they were friends, Abby's superintendent said yes to Leslie superintendent's another in the same school. So I'll visit them Monday. I'll be there Monday, and then I'll be at Betsy's on Tuesday. But I go there once.
Yeah, so with that, Doc, like for example, with me, I am G1. So you need to have like a valid sponsor, like what's the reason they're going to transfer, right?
Yes, you have to. You have an excuse, like for
Yes.
example, for example, the number of preps, for example, yours, the way that they did the loading, that could be a reason for you, and you try to
Yes.
work it out, and they never did change it.
Yes.
So anything like that, or a big reason is that if you look at the DS-160 and you look at what they say that your job will be, and it's not matching what they give you, this is a very valid reason to move, because
Yes,
they were
Doc.
not.
Yes, that's valid.
Yeah, they did not do what they said they would do, and that's what I had to do that with Leslie. I called the superintendent and said, what you're giving Leslie is not what you said on the DS-160. And so Leslie,
Yes, like with me, Doc, like the first like they give me like the job offer, it's like a spread. But when I arrived there, like 2 days after, they changed it to English because the other one who is English major, who is from I think he's from Arizona, and he's trying to transfer here in Florida, and made for the reason that he could not manage with the middle school and high school. Um, he's now in the SPED, so we swap with my position, and this, yeah, because what I received before is that as SPED stated there.
well,
Okay.
then you have a very valid reason, Arthur,
Yes,
to
Doc.
move, because
Yes,
it's not
Doc.
matching your DS-160, and that's a
Yes.
reason that you will tell your sponsor that they're not giving me what they said that they will give me, or they did give me for 2 days, and then they switch, but it's like a bait and switch. But anyway, that's a very valid reason, because what they should give you should match what they offered you. in a DS-160, because then they are, they really are not following the DS-160 is supposed to be followed. And I
Yes,
told
one thing also, Doc, because it is also mentioned, because I talking with the native here, the local, right? With regards to privacy, like with the room, I know with other guys, with other teacher, like they have a separate room, but only me with living with this, we are two in this in one room. So my friend told me, I think with that you have also a valid reason because you are not comfortable with that room, and then you paid like you deducted also, even though they stated that's free, but also something like it sum up that they deducted from our salary. So something like on in the boys house, only me and with other teacher. Yeah.
I don't know if that is as valid as the one not matching the S-160 art. Know why? Because normally housing is not even provided.
Oh yeah,
Not
yeah,
even a
yeah.
consideration. Yeah.
Just additional only more on curriculum and other stuff. Yeah, because it's especially with me, it's exchange. So more on what you get from the state. That's good.
The housing is gonna be your responsibility.
All
It's
right.
not gonna be, yeah. So that's why I don't think. I mean, I would not see it as more valid than the mismatch of the DS-160 role. I would look at the DS-160
The
mismatch
loads and all the stuff.
as
And
the reason. That's what
thank you.
I would do. But you have to remember, I'm trying to have my own agency now. So
Wow.
so when I get that done, I will know everything, and I'm already calling an attorney to be my partner. I have to partner with an attorney.
That's good.
Yeah. So
Good
anyway,
job.
hopefully when I go to Philippines and get the paperwork finished, I will be an agency, but I will not charge too much.
Yeah. And then
I
you
already
would
know
just
the other side of it.
I will help like posting like, oh, Dr. Mac will come, and then in Negros in Dumaguete, and then oh my God, so many people will go there.
Oh,
The
good.
teachers.
Yeah, my plan is to go when I go to Philippines is I will, wherever the hotel I stay, and try to
Yeah,
make
that's
sure there's
good
a
though.
big room, and then invite
Yeah.
people to come and in a big room, and then we'll have that big event, and all that. So
I
kind of,
can do it though.
yeah, I'll be
We can
needing
have
your
it
all's help.
next school year.
Yeah, I'll be needing your all's help to help me,
Yeah.
make
Yeah,
that happen.
I'm willing to help as well. I can be your assistant
Oh,
to
good, perfect.
Sir Mike.
Joanne better
Yeah,
Assistant
remember
of
that.
Sir Mike.
If you're not
yeah,
here
for
yet
that.
at that time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for Dumaguete, yeah, I will speak for the Negros Oriental. Yes.
I have a lot of Negros Oriental subscribers now on Facebook. So thank you. I have
Wow.
a lot in Cagayan, and Cebu still number one, guys. So you need to beat Cebu. But Cebu is number one.
Yes, a lot.
Manila is number two, I think.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Anyway, so any other question? And for those that are new here, Arlene, um, so I want to welcome you, Arlene, and I hope that you will continue to communicate. My email, if you look at my name there, it's going to be my last name, first names, is mccullomerlina@gmail.com. So if you have any questions for me, specific question that you want to email me about, just email me, okay? Or you can reach me through Facebook. So if you're not a part of our Facebook a group yet, be a member, because we're always putting things there. I put my reels there every day, every week on my visit to Brinkley. So you get to see how they're doing there. They're doing really well there. And I'm talking to Mike's Mike's school about second semester. So we'll see what happens. I just sent that updated proposal to Miss Mills yesterday, Mike. So hopefully, I said they really need an advocate. They really need an extra support. I know you all are supportive there, but it's just different, to have somebody that looks like them to come. And so anyway, so hopefully they will meet about it. And there's only like 8 times anyway that I put in there. So,
Wow.
like twice a month. So for 4 months. So we'll see. We'll see what they say. So it would be nice for you all to, like I did before, I would go to Helena first, and then I go to Brinkley, which is only 50 minutes from each other. So it's pretty close. So our teachers here are getting, I mean, they're so close now, don't you think, Mike? I mean, they went on vacation together for Thanksgiving, and they had so much fun, looks
Yes
like
po.
from the picture.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I'm so proud of that. I feel like a
Yeah,
proud mom.
I
Yeah.
really enjoy
Yes,
with
Doc.
my
And
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
yes, Doc. Actually, every Friday we have what we call Friday night.
Drinking,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Like
party.
last night, Mom Jing and Koy, they celebrate their wedding anniversary, and then they're inviting us, but unfortunately I'm busy. And also, um it's too cold. It's cold
Oh
here
my
already.
gosh. No, you can't do that, Mike. You have to venture out, cold or not. You just have to get a jacket.
Mhm.
The thing with here, the first year you will be here, you'll be in your first winter, you'll have you need jackets. Jackets are not cheap. So you need to go to
Mhm.
Goodwill, and Goodwill's jacket is maybe, I don't know, $4 or $5 instead of the 50, 80, $100
Yes,
that you were
true.
buying.
Yeah.
So do you shop
And
at
also,
Goodwill?
Doc, we have here the UK.
Okay,
Yeah, that's a
okay, yeah.
Goodwill.
Yeah, that's
Goodwill,
Goodwill. That's Goodwill. Okay,
Goodwill.
okay.
That's UK here.
Yeah,
That's good
okay.
stuff there.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got
there's a
some
lot of them.
also
Yeah, I know the
at
brands.
Barnesville.
Yeah, I know the brand from the mall, so I only buy those that I know are good brands. So I recognize,
Yeah,
oh, it's Walmart
the
brand.
same with
No,
me though.
huh?
I did that.
Yeah, yeah. You look for Nike, Adidas, all
Yeah.
brand new stuff. So it's like having a you always say when somebody overspend, they would say somebody has champagne taste with a beer budget.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you shop at
Like with me also, like I really enjoy my Thanksgiving. Like I went to Georgia with my friend, and also I visited my family in Maryland. Yeah, it's really
Oh, cool. Cool, cool, cool. What
yeah.
family are you talking about, Art? I didn't know you have family in Maryland.
Yeah, I have my family here, Doc. Like my second cousin in Maryland. I have also in Minnesota and in Chicago. They are my
Nice.
cousins.
Very good. You
Yes.
have other places to go and visit.
Yes, and then
Yeah.
this coming December, I already have a ticket. I already informed my GSAM sponsor that I will go to Guatemala because my friend invited me to go there to have my Christmas and New Year.
Good job. Did you make
In
sure you
Guat-
check? Make sure you check on your visa if you are is that's a country that you have a free visa from the Philippines.
Yeah, yes, Doc. It's a
Okay.
free visa
Oh,
for
it's a free visa.
Guatemala,
Okay, good. You always need to
and
check
I pay
because
and I
yeah.
pay already $30 for the travel from yes from the agency. They gave me like already a permission.
Yeah, yeah, that's one thing that you also need to remember as a J1 visa for cultural exchange here. You have always need to communicate. You have got to communicate with your
Yeah,
J1 sponsor to tell them if you're traveling out of state, traveling out of the country, especially,
right. Yes.
because they are responsible for you.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, wait, I lost I lost my teacher.
Where is it?
That would be
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, we'll spend my Christmas there in Guatemala.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. You'll have to, you know what I'm collecting that I hope you can send me. I like postcards. I like postcard from the countries that my friends visit. And then I want the coins. What my friends do is they would put the little coins, tape it in the
Oh
back of the
wow.
postcard. Yeah, I don't want the bills. I don't want the bills. I just want the coins. I have a collection of maybe 20 something countries now. I have a little,
Wow.
like a binder, and I have the
I will
country
do it.
information. So, but I always share that with students because you can do a postcards across America. You have to Google this postcards across America. So I became a member, my class became a member. And so then all these people from different places across America would send you their postcards about their class. And then we sent them some Arkansas postcards. So then we have this collection of postcards from the different states.
Postcards.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
You can do this as a authentic writing activity for you. So for example, you have whatever the setting is for your story, then you can justify doing that activity because if it is set in the US, then you can start your postcards across America in that state. So you can send somebody in the list. I don't remember how we got it, but anyway, but somehow we got the addresses and then we send it over there and then they respond back to us. So we have my students were so excited every time we got some mails, some postcard from other states. So we have this collection and they got into writing to the president of the US, as part of their writing activity. They were writing about, the ideas and what happened, that whoever the president at that time, I don't remember, was it Obama? I don't remember who was the president. But anyway, whoever the president was at that time, they got it because it's from the students. It was a packet of all my students' letters and my letter. And then we sent it to them and then they responded to us and gave everybody a picture
Oh,
signed. Yeah, from
that's
the
good.
president. So they took it home. And the problem with that was in your class, it will be pretty much a representation of the political beliefs of the parents. And in Arkansas, 70% are Republican, right? So only about a third are Democrats. And I think at that time, it was a Democratic president. So I was so afraid that the parents would say, Merlina, you know, job my son wrote to the other political party. So when I talked to them, I just said, I don't think I sent a letter, but I told them during parent teacher conference that that's what we're going to do, because I believe in teaching my students authentic writing. So I want them to write, and I want them to write to real people. So that's why we had pen pal writing from one school to another school, you know. And my friend that lives in that area would take the bag full of our notebooks every week, back and forth. And then my gifted kids were writing to another gifted kid, my special ed kid with another special ed kid. That was so good, because I was able to actually see authentic writing and see what mini lessons I'm going to be able to do based on what they were writing. Like, oh, a lot of people are not capitalizing their I. You know, they're just small I. So I did a mini lesson on that, you know. And so I saw some people that were not doing end marks. There's no punctuation at the end. So I did a mini lesson on that, you know, or they're just using really small words. They're nice and big. Those are really dead words, because they need to be multisyllabic. It should be beautiful, you know, multisyllabic, and humongous instead of big, you know. So you tell your students that you need to use bigger words, especially if you're in high school. Elementary, you know, kindergarten, first grade, that's acceptable, okay. But when they get to be fourth grade and up, they need to be writing a little better, you know, not a 50-cent word. It has to be at least $5 word or $10, however you want to assign that, because you want to encourage them to use multisyllabic words. Because when you do your testing at the end of the year, here in America, we have this summative test, which is like given by the state. And this is to measure the performance of every school. That way you can compare apples to apples. So every school has to take, the kids would have to take this test that's given by the state. And then the schools will be compared, who's doing the best, and then the one with the most growth gets some money. In Salem, luckily the school is really good. It's like a top 10 in the state always, and they are given like money as a reward for teachers for the kids doing well. That a lot of time they get like 1,000 bonus, 1,500 bonus every year.
Oh,
Yeah, because of the scores of the growth that the kids did, you know. So they are looking at the scores and they're looking at growth, you know, how did the kid grow from this year to this year, you know, all that. So they have, it's very competitive. And so like in Georgia, there's a history in this testing thing in America, that this place in Georgia, I don't remember where, and also maybe in Texas, that the whole school cheated. So they fired the superintendent, they fired the principals, they fired a bunch of teachers. They cheated. They were like having their kids change the answers and tell them the correct answers. And the computer was able to compute that there were so many erasures. Like, why is there so many erasures in the whole school? So they were able to do a math thing on it and say, oh, this is above than average erasures, like normal. So that's when the investigation happened, and students were saying things like, well, my teacher dictated the whole answer and have us to change the answers, you know, all this. So yeah. So I don't know if some people may have gone to jail, because that's a really big deal. It's like as a big offense, you know, you could lose your license for it. So that's why you should never, ever cheat on those tests. So yeah. So that's why I don't know if we have that in the Philippines. Do we? Joanne, anybody? Do we have a big test in the Philippines that they take?
yeah, we have.
You do?
Before we do have NCE
That's
like
a high
that, but
school thing,
now
though.
there's none. Yeah, for
Oh,
elementary none as well. I think they removed it after pandemic, but I just don't know, because I was not in the Philippines for 11 years, so I really do not know the system anymore.
We have
Joanne, where are you now, Joanne? Are you in the Philippines still or no?
I am still in the Philippines. It's just that I had an 11-year experience in Indonesia. That's why I don't know the system
Yeah.
when I came back. Yeah.
So
I think
they
Sir
have-
Erwin
I
has
think-
something to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember po,
Hold on.
in the Philippines, we have the National Achievement Test and the
Yeah,
NCAI.
that one.
And I remember
Yeah.
that the schools are making it as like not competition, but of course there's a ranking about the performance of the students. I remember that when I was in the public school.
Yeah.
Really? Is it still going on now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So you still
no,
in the
Doc.
top?
There's no national achievement test, regional achievement test, and even the division achievement test anymore. The only test that students are taking is in their grade 9 level, which is the NCAE, the career aptitude test.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, I
And,
remember getting
yeah,
99.
we still have
Yeah.
we still have that national achievement test for grade 12. They called it LSAT exam.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd like to add, sir, this year we are already preparing for the NAT in grade 6 and
Yeah,
for
it's
the
grade
ELNA
6.
in grade
Yes,
4,
same thing.
plus the memorandum for the no division and regional achievement test is already lifted. So we are told to prepare for the division achievement test and the regional test already.
Okay. Well, the here in America, here in well, I think in America, in Arkansas, I know for sure they're given grades like an A school, a B school, a C school. You know, most of our teachers here in the Delta are teaching in D and F school, and that's why they needed the help because they're getting people from other countries because the locals are not going to those schools; they're going to a richer school, and so which is really sad because they're the ones that need the most help, and that's why I'm trying to encourage our teachers that are already there not to leave. You know, they need you the most. Don't leave, you know, especially if they're the ones that really helped you to get here. And then that's how grateful you are. You just leave them after all the trouble and money that they spent. And then you leave them to go to another school that did not spend any money on you. And that's kind of, to me, so ungrateful thing. Unless you really feel like you're not being treated fairly, then that would be a different reason. You know, if you're not supported, if you are not given the the actual match of your role, things like that that's a valid reason. But if it's just because somebody convinced you that you will make a couple of $1,000 more or whatever, but then you forget that
That's
oh,
percent.
yeah, the standard of living there is higher, so you really are losing
Yes.
8,000 more,
Doc,
so yeah.
Doc, also
Uh-huh.
we are so grateful. We just want to share this to you that we received a 5,000 bonus here.
Oh my God, when was this?
Yeah, we
Wow,
received it last before
congratulations.
things.
When?
Yeah, last I think last Tuesday of the Thanksgiving. All
Wow.
Wow, that's so cool,
Oh,
Mike.
5,000.
it's so cool.
But what was the reason of giving that to you guys? They call that retention bonus. What do you call it?
I don't know though. I'm not sure about that,
Mr.
but
Mike, are you working in the charter school or county school?
Public
no,
public school.
no, public school.
Now, all of our
Wow.
teachers
All
here
of
that
us.
I help are
And you know what, even the I think even the employees of the district, that's why Ma'am Jing and Koi got 10,000.
oh my God, I know. I'm so
Wow.
proud of you.
Oh
Get
my
money
God.
now. Yeah, that's good because they
Yeah.
needed a new vehicle. So that was good.
Wow, this is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, they have gotten that before too. I mean, this is not the first time
Yes,
they got
no,
10,000.
last year.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. And some
That's why
schools,
we asked, like, are we included there on the 5,000 bonus? No, no, no. Because they told me that only those teachers who are already here. And we are also expecting that before, right?
oh yeah, yeah. It's like if you have to be here in order to get it because you've earned it already for the year. But some schools here I know are giving retention bonus. 2,500. Oh, I think one school in the area, I want to say Earl, I think they were doing like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. So the longer you stay, the more the bigger the bonus is. So they were doing it that way in order for you to get I think it was 10,000 and they were dividing it up or whatever. But in order for the teachers to stay, because a bunch of these schools are very poor, very high in poverty, and a lot of behavior problems. So a bunch of the locals do not want to go to those schools. They'd rather go to a school with not that much issues. And so that's why their schools that are in the Delta really suffer because they could not get enough staff. And that's the deal with West Memphis. West Memphis is a very big school. It's one of the bigger schools here in Arkansas. But the problem is that reputation seems to be like, if you Google them, they don't look like they have a very good reputation on crimes and so on. But the superintendent assured me that, Merlina, we are going to take care of these teachers. They're going to be safe. And I was like, good, because I don't want them to get hurt. If I'm going to be here and being their advocate, I want them to be safe, and all this. So they said, oh, we'll figure it out. Don't worry about that. The transportation, the housing and all that, we'll help them out. I'm like, okay, good. Because that's what my worries are, that they come here and they're not safe. If they're in the crime ridden place, I do not want them there. I said, well, I know. Yes, I said, okay. So the good rule is that if you will put your relatives there, then you can put my teachers there. So, anyway, so yeah, something like that. So yeah, Arkansas, I think the scores, by the way, are really improving in the schools where our teachers are. So our teachers are doing so well. And comments I hear from administrators are, teachers are always like, every time they go to the classroom, they never see a Filipino teacher just sitting on their bottom. They're not sitting, they're always teaching, they're doing monitoring, they're having them do groups and stuff. They're always actively teaching. instead of sitting down there. You have some locals. You have some locals that I've caught when I was an administrator. I have some locals that I caught having ordering stuff on Amazon, especially the Cyber Monday thing. Oh my gosh, they were ordering things for their Christmas presents, and they're just giving worksheet to their students, and some of them are on eBay and and all this. And I even had like one person before that I caught, that we caught being addicted to like gaming thing on Yahoo. And that's all he was doing. He was giving worksheet and page numbers to do for the students, and he was doing his games. And we fired him. We let him go. But anyhow, those are some things that are happening here. So you can get more money. 5,000, that's 250,000 pesos if it's only 50, but now it's nearly 60. So it's about 300,000 pesos, just a bonus at the end of the year. So that's pretty cool, Mike. I did not know you got that. So you all,
Yes,
you all
Doc.
got money.
Yes,
No
Doc.
wonder they
And
went to, no wonder
I
they went
think
on
I think Doc
vacation.
in the USA you will experience that salary is coming, but still you still have your salary in your ATM.
Yeah, in your debit card.
Yeah.
But see, Mike especially got the role of a volleyball coach. So he's getting what, $8,000 more, Mike? Was it
6,500, Doc.
Yeah, so he's getting that.
Baka naman,
I
Sir
know, right?
Mike.
Yeah,
He's loving. I think he's
since
loving it. They
yes po,
really like.
Doc, and
He's
since today is the off season, so there's no more volleyball training, and we will start it again on I think April or May. But the additional or the
Salary.
additional payment is still
Take effect.
going,
Yeah.
like yeah.
Yeah. Once
So
it's
it's
there,
only
yeah.
for the season, pre-season, the season and off season. But after the season of volleyball, yeah, no more trainings, but still
Give him the
the
money.
additional, they did not remove it.
Nice. And that's why,
Hopefully next season.
I encourage applicants to really coach something. So either even if you have not coached before, but if you played it before, so you know the rules, I would recommend you being an assistant coach first. And then later on, when you feel comfortable with the rules in America, then you can be the main coach, because they will pay you extra, because that's extra time for you. So that's about $1,000 a month.
Yeah,
more.
I'm just applying as assistant coach, but and fortunately the head coach, I think she transferred in the other school, and since I'm the one who had the application, so they hired me, and they gave the position to me.
Whoa.
And yeah, fortunately another lady there applied as a assistant coach, but I am the first who applied, so
Good
they
for you,
gave it to
Mike.
me.
I know Leslie and
Yeah.
them, they were always bragging about Mike. Mike was over there against our students. So our students are their students, and are playing against each other, but they see each other there. So that's why what was it? What was it that Leslie's boss said, Mike? They were gonna want to steal
Yes
you.
po. They will steal me
Yeah.
as a coach in the volleyball.
But anyhow, all right. So any question? Who else is new? Julius, I don't know if Julius is either just listening or want to come on and talk to us. Arlene, do you have any additional question for us? So Erwin,
None anymore.
anybody, huh?
Doc, hello,
Yes.
Doc.
Uh-huh.
I have a question about the FCE, Doc,
Okay.
about the payment. For those who tried, is it we are going only to pay from a credit card,
Yes.
or
Oh, okay.
yeah?
Yes. You use a credit card.
All right. I mean, with my
That's the
friend,
fastest.
yeah, in I think Spantron, they are using the
Yeah.
credit card, but the in West they are using, they could accept like debit also.
Yeah. Debit card
Because
as well for
that is my
request.
problem before, that I don't have a credit card. I don't
But
have a cash, but I
but
don't
don't
have a
you have,
credit card.
guys, all the debit cards can be used as credit. Did you know that? That's in fact
Yeah.
one way to be safe using your debit card is use it as a credit card, not as a debit card. So that way you don't have to put in your code, your PIN. So use it as a credit card, because it should be able to use both ways as a credit card. Okay, so I don't know why they say that you cannot use it when they should be able to use it, because if
And
you use it as
Doc
a credit
Doc
card.
Merlina,
Uh-huh.
I think if they do not have any credit card yet, they can actually borrow from another friend, a cousin,
Mhm.
and that will be fine as well.
Yeah, if you have one that would let you
Yeah.
borrow. Yeah,
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 because something like
Well,
yeah, with my
Giselle has
experience
Leslie.
before.
yeah,
I did it too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Don't teachers in the Philippines have credit cards because you have a good
we
job?
do.
They
We
have
do
some.
have.
Uh,
Yeah.
We do
It's
have
not
before,
enough to
Doc.
pay actually.
Yeah, it's not enough for us.
Oh,
Because
actually,
credit
Doc,
limit here is only 10 to 20,000
that's
pesos.
it. Okay,
Yeah.
because
well,
here
Mhm.
it's
actually,
like,
And
Doc,
also,
in
Doc,
reality, we
Doc,
have more
here in
credit
the
than
USA, right?
cards.
Yeah,
Tama.
in the USA, you need to have at least three or more credit cards to build your credit score.
not three or more, Mike. That's too
The
many.
more credit, the more credit you have, the merrier.
No, 2 to 3, Mike, but not any more than that. That's too
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah,
did when
because
I had
it's
a business, and I
yeah,
really should
you
not
will
have done
use
that.
it to for the car loans and other loans, right?
But Mike, if
Yeah, you need to
you have
build
been
it.
checking your creditkarma.com, you need to keep up with your credit rating. If every time that a credit card company would check on your credit, you lose points. So the more that you
Yes, Doc.
apply, the more that you lose your points. You want to be 700 or more. I think out of 850 or something,
Yes po,
you need
yes,
to be
Doc.
at least 700 to
And
borrow
yeah,
money.
my credit score was already hurt.
Yeah, so
It's
that's why
already hurt. Yeah,
you need
because
to quit applying.
I applied for the trade-in of my car, and car company send it and applied for it. So I it's not a bad score, but my credit score was already hurt.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So don't quit applying, Mike, because
it's
if you have to
impacted.
wait
Yeah,
some certain
there's a
time, yeah.
great impact.
Yeah, yeah, it will impact. And also the length of your credit. Like I have a credit card that I had since I was a student. So it's been more than 30 years. So that helps your credit if you keep one for years and years and not, yeah. So because they will keep up with that. But the main important thing is that, and I messed up on this when I was doing my project in the Philippines, was you are supposed to not use more than 30% of the limit. So if you have a limit of $1,000, you should not use that credit card for more than $300. So it's less the utilization of your credit. They call them credit utilization, that it should be less than 30%. Because if it's more than that, then it's gonna hurt your credit. So try to remember the 30% rule. Okay. Or use it and then pay for it, all of it. Do not keep a balance, all of it. That way you don't have to have an interest, because I really messed up on that for myself. That's why a lesson learned. So I always tell the teachers, don't do what I did. do do what's it do as I say but not what I do, or something. Because I'm still learning that lesson. But anyway, but yeah, do not apply to 10 cards, okay? Because that's gonna hurt your credit, especially being so new in the country. Yeah. So anyway, so the Spantram question is good, Joanne. So did you say, and also you need to keep your receipts on those if it's visa related things, because
Okay.
some schools might have enough funds to reimburse you, but they will
Oh.
never reimburse you without a receipt. That is a
Oh.
clue here. That is a big thing here, that they do not reimburse you unless you can produce a receipt. Okay, so any
Okay.
of the receipts that you have done as you process your paperwork, just put it together and organize it. Then that way,
Okay.
if I'm working with your school, I will be the one to beg, like, hey, can you please reimburse this or whatever? If you have extra money at the end of the year, can you reimburse? And I have done that many times, and they got the money. So yeah. So yeah, you can do that. And so right now it's more like an investment for yourself to come. Okay, so that if you already have your FCE, that's one big thing out of the way. And if you are planning to be in Arkansas, I would recommend that you also take your TOEFL, TOEFL test. It's under
TOEFL.
ATS.org. Get that passed. I think my
Okay.
team here would already have a TOEFL done. So if you're really intending to work in Arkansas, I would recommend you to do your TOEFL already, because once you get that,
Okay.
once you get here, then you get your provisional license already. Then all you have to do is get this PDs online that they require. And after you get those, which is easy, just a matter of doing time and answering questions. And then after that, you get your standard license. So the TOEFL seems to be the biggest hurdle. After that is a praxis test, which is a test under ats.org also, that is on your level, on your area. So they want it's a test of your knowledge in your area. So if you're elementary, you have to take like 4 different core. you have to take the math, the English, the science, and the social studies. So if you're elementary, you have more tests than the high school. So the high school is very specific. So if you're, for example, art is in English, that he has to only take that code for English or whatever level it is. So if it's high 712 or 812, whatever, then that's all he takes. But for the elementary, you have to take all these levels in different areas because you're pretty much a generalist. So
Yeah. Dr. Merlina, you said that we are going, social studies is included, right? So is it about social studies focusing on America
yes.
for
Yes.
TOEFL? So okay.
So
So I
we
need to do advanced.
yes, you go to
Advanced.
Arkansas Department of Education. So you Google
Okay.
Arkansas Department of Education under curriculum,
Okay.
and there's a search there, and just put curriculum and or put standards, and you can see the standards for every area. Or you can look at my reels. I actually have those in my reels for all the core areas in my Facebook reels. So because if you find that, then you can just email me and I'll send you the thing, the folder for it.
Yes.
I don't have
Doc,
it.
just to share po, dun nga, I remember based on the paperworks that Miss Mills gave me, since I am in the elementary and I'm working on, or they will work on my, what is a provisionary license in special education. So there's a lot because I still need to attend or take the IDEA courses.
Mhm. That's what I'm
And
talking
aside
about. That's
from
what
that,
I'm
the
trying. Yeah.
practice, and
Mhm.
there's a lot. And also the
Praxis.
science of reading, the
Yeah.
science of reading that
Those
you
are
need.
Arkansas specific requirements. So if you go to
Okay.
another state, you need to go to that state's Department of Education. So if you go to Missouri, like Arlene is, so you go to Missouri Department of Education, you put them in quotes so that you don't just see Missouri, you just see department, but you see the whole thing. So Missouri Department of Education, and once you get there to the website, then you just look under for the search button and look for either curriculum or licensure standards, whatever you're looking for. But for licensure, you just put licensure, and then it should show you like how the reciprocity works for that state. And a lot of times they're very much similar, but the difference might be your TOEFL. Some states do not require TOEFL. Arkansas is one of them that would require it. So that's why if you apply for a New Mexico license already, or Chicago or the Illinois, those
Yeah.
it seems to be the easier to do. So
Yeah, I'm working on New Mexico
yeah,
license
yeah.
also.
I think that helps you a lot. Although some Department of Ed folks do not really want you to get that because they want you to. They feel like it's dishonest because you did not really work there. Why are you getting a license there? So
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, but if you're, yeah, so that's where the perspective is right now. But schools are actually schools that have never hired international teachers. It actually makes them feel better when they see a state, the within the state U.S. state license, because they knew that your license will be good. So that seems to be a help, especially for folks that have never hired anybody, because it's like a peace of mind for them because they don't know, like, oh, I don't know if the Philippine license will be good enough. But if they talk to me, I will be able to straighten them out on that. But anyways, that's the first thing that you need to do is Google that Department of Education of any state, and it would show you the licensure requirement. Okay. So, but Illinois and New Mexico are the easiest ones to get. Illinois, it seems like New Mexico is I see that a lot on the cover letter that I have on New Mexico, and I put that in your cover letter that you have a New Mexico teaching license, if you have it.
Okay po.
Yeah, that
Okay
would be
po.
attractive to them. Yeah, but anyway, so any other about time? So I haven't had my breakfast, you guys. I'm hungry, so I made some fried rice about when I
Me
set
too,
the
Doc. Me
reminder
too.
earlier that I say,
You
hey, we're
know,
meeting in 3 hours. I was making some fried rice there. Then went back to sleep. But anyhow, so I think that's all that I have really. We talked about strategies, we talked about the 5 core proposition, interview, games. We covered a lot today. It was pretty meaty today. So thank you. And Giselle, thank you for being my co-host. She was the first one, so I made her my co-host. So Mike and Joanne are also really great co-hosts as well. So thank you for your help, and Art
I'm
for
still sleeping,
Thank
Doc.
you so much, Doc.
yeah, for sharing your perspective
I
about
Thank,
woke
Florida.
up 8 o'clock.
Huh?
thank you so much, Doc, for our learnings today. Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you.
And
Yeah,
we are
don't.
excited to meet you here. We are excited.
Hey,
Oh,
Mike.
yes.
Hey, Mike, I have an
Hopefully,
idea.
hopefully.
Yeah,
Yeah.
since you're the one that's single and can travel anywhere, you should come to Arkansas and meet everybody.
Yes,
One of
Doc.
your
Hopefully I
destinations.
could meet you in
Huh?
Arkansas.
Yeah, I would. I would
Yeah.
definitely meet you guys. Yeah. So anyway, but see if you go there, I'll meet you in the airport if I could, if my schedule allows, and then we'll take you to where they are, and then we'll just visit different places there where they, or we could just like meet in one place where everybody will come, right, Mike? Mike will arrange for that. He'll be
Yes,
he'll be
Doc.
he'll be
Yes.
in charge of that. Yeah.
And you will save a lot here when you are in Arkansas,
Wow.
specifically here in Helena. You will save a lot
Yeah. The
because
standard of
you will
living
not
is
tempt.
low.
Yeah, Doc, you will not tempt to buy anything because you cannot find anything here.
There's nothing here.
Oh, Mike.
They're only an hour away
That's
from
the
Little
reason why
Rock.
you cannot buy anything because there's
There's
nothing here.
nothing to buy.
Yeah, but if they
Okay.
drive an hour away to Little Rock, the capital, they have a lot to buy, or they drive to
Yes, Doc.
Memphis, which is also another hour, and they have a lot to buy. There's malls there, there's outlet mall, there's the big international market there. So yeah, you have, if they drive an hour, they spend the money.
We have here, Doc. We have here. We're going to Memphis, and I'm planning to go there after this.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
In
Sir Mike,
in Asian, in
when
Asian store.
me don't worry, Sir Mike, when me and Sir Erwin and Giselle will be in Memphis already, just give us the list, we will buy it for you, and then you have to pay for
Yeah,
our
West,
service,
yeah,
okay?
Yes.
yeah.
It's still
Well,
Arkansas. It's still
you can
Arkansas.
use,
West Memphis is still Arkansas.
yeah, West
But you
Memphis
don't have
Yeah.
anything there
yeah,
in your place.
yeah, that's a border between the Tennessee and the Arkansas border. That's what they call it, West Memphis. That's still Arkansas. Then Memphis
Yeah.
is Tennessee already. So they're like the the end, the border. But it's only like 5-10 minutes away from the Memphis area. So if you all will be there already, including my cousin Fran, if you all get tired,
Yes,
then
Sir
you will be
Cousin.
with me talking to the others here. That's already here. Giselle's bunch, I know that I'm talking to Abby and Leslie to help me out as well on names. So if you get the invitation, they are still, I will turn in names and files, but I still could not tell them who to hire. So it's not my control, it's
Okay,
theirs.
Doc.
And he said,
Yes
well,
po.
do you want to come and be in the interview? I said, no, because I feel like I'm the coach and I'm over here with the game. I'm in the middle of the game. No, I'm coaching on the side.
We will be very pressured, Doc, if we will be there.
Yeah, I would not want to. So anyhow, I think there was one, I think I told you before that I was once, somebody told me to set up the interview, and I'm like, every time they change, I'm the one in there. Was it you, Erwin, that was interviewing? Or was it
No,
Mike?
Doc.
There was an interview that somebody has never set up before, and they asked me to set up the Zoom. And so every time that they would change candidates, I have to like be there because I have to be the one to, be in charge of the Zoom. That was so weird. And that candidate was like, I was so confused why you showed up there. Like, what am I doing with the school?
Look, I experienced that. I experienced that last year.
It was
You
you,
showed up on
Mike.
my
It was
Zoom
you.
meeting.
Yeah. You were confused why I was there, right?
Mhm.
What's
Well, I
So
think it would be
I
better
saw
Doc,
you
if you're there.
Huh?
I think it would be better if you're there.
Really?
So we
Oh
could
no, you
just
will be nervous.
look at your eyes.
I'm like, oh yeah, you did not
because
listen
we
to
know
me.
we could read the answers in your eyes.
Yeah, right. No. That my clue is that you have to use the 5 core proposition. Once you use it, you have a good answer. So always talk about what knowledge of your student, what you know about your students. Talk about strategies, and then talk about how you
Yes.
know that on assessment. Remember, assessment happens before, during, and after. Okay, and then reflection. What did you think about it? How did you know that?
Yeah.
Whatever. And then collaboration. So I've said this many times in many of these videos, so people can say this in their sleep, but the new ones may not know about it. But if you have that little checklist of 5 things in your head, so the next day you answer, you always have this little checklist. I said all 5 things, then you answer deep and detailed. And then you use specific example. Even if you didn't have a kid really, but you just like make it up. I had a kid named Maria. I have a kid
But
named John.
it's getting nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Oh, really? Really? Have you
Yeah.
been interviewed, Erwin?
Well, Doc, I had 2 interviews from the past. I think that this year and last year. One Chicago, and the other one was in, what was that? Northeast of America. I forgot.
Really?
And then yeah,
But do
and
you
they want to be there and immediately. So I told them that I can't do that because I have to have this process and do that and do these things. But they really, the one in Chicago, just this August, she told me that I was really overqualified, like qualified, very qualified with the position, but they can't hire me because they want me to be part of this agency so they could hire me. But I told them that I'm not part of that agency. I'm doing these things all alone. And
but if
then
that is a requirement by the school to be hired, you should do it. Dance with the music. If that music is there provided by them, dance with it. You cannot
yeah,
just
yeah,
say, oh
yeah,
no, I'm not, because that's what because they're already pretty much giving you a job, really.
they
So if
didn't they didn't
that's-
send
huh?
me they didn't send me the links and the other way to be part of that agency, and I forgot also the agency.
Yeah, well, next
It's in
time,
Chicago, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
Doc,
next
Doc,
time,
that's true.
yeah.
That's true po. Yeah, for those teachers who were if the school district suggested you to contact the agency, you should do it because I have I think a school district in Las Vegas. They told me about their partnership with the agency about hiring J1 or Filipino teachers. So they should do it. And like po you remember the Ma'am Sheila Hylan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They think that school district uh asked Miss Hylan to contact that agency because they are their partner.
Yep. Because the thing with that is that if they have exclusive partnership with that agency, they're not going to deal with anybody else. So you're going to have to go with the music. Okay. So dance with the music because that's what they already have established for the district. So you cannot make your
Mhm.
own rule. They already had made that
And
rule.
also
Okay.
be careful to reject the offer of the agency and then they will ban you.
Huh?
It happens po. Yes po, Doc. Um, someone shared to me about that po na he, I think he rejected the offer or what I think about there's an issue and then the agency sent him a notice or an email that he will be banned for 1 year.
Well, yeah, banned from them. That means he could not apply
Yeah.
for that agency and their affiliates, but he
Yes po.
he
The
could
the
still apply
affiliation.
somewhere else. Yeah, he could still be
Mhm.
affiliated with other visa
It
agents.
could apply to
Yes
other
po, understood.
agencies.
Yeah, it may be
Yeah.
that
You
particular
must be careful, yes.
company. Yeah, just be careful too. If that is recommended by the school, I'd go for it. But if they just out of the blue come up in your like even Facebook or in your mail, be careful because if they are a third party agency, you're gonna be doing double. Okay, so the only third party agency that I would okay with you to do is that, and I would suggest that you do, is the one suggested by the district because they already have a relationship with them. You have to go
Yes.
with that because you can do your own thing with that. But other than that, do not get another agency that's not listed in the designated visa sponsor list. Okay, because you will be paying double. You're paying 5,000 here or 3,000 here, and you pay another 3,000 to the actual visa sponsor. So that's double. Why do you do that when you can
Mhm.
avoid it?
And
So
that's
yeah.
that is the struggle of some of the J1 teachers for the first year of teaching here in the USA.
The struggle because what, Mike?
Because of the paying the agency fees,
Yeah,
the
but
processing, everything, yeah.
yeah, because I remembered a bunch of you guys in Helena was writing like a check for 500, 12 checks, so $6,000. And it was normally
Yes.
it was 4,000. And because they didn't have the money up front, then it became 6,000, which is a big $2,000 interest, which is really big to me.
Mhm.
So, but that's all you can do. You don't have any other options, so you do it. So when I have my agency, I don't think I'll be that rough. So anyway, but we'll see. You never know the circumstances when you get there. But that's what my goal is, to be able to have an agency so I have a control on the number of visa slots and that I would have my people covered. So that's kind of what my goal is getting there. They want, like, I think, to be affiliated with the Philippines OFW thing is you have to have $2 million 2 million peso property in the Philippines, which I have that. I have my property, in the beach property I have was 14 million, so I got that one. And then that we have to have 1 million peso in the bank, in the local bank, which I can do that. But so that's the big requirement that they want, which means I have to really be there in person to do the other paperwork that they have. So yeah, that's the biggest requirements they have. And that's what I want to do, because I have an offer on my property, and so when I sell it, I can just take care of my agency. Yay. So the nice thing about it is that I could actually see the candidates in person, because that's what I would love to do, is actually, I've met you in the Zoom, but I would love to see you in person. And so
Yeah,
we'll have
I'm
some.
looking forward for that though.
Yeah, and see, so here in America, the teachers that are here, because Helena has the most 15, and then other teachers, we have more than 20 in the area, and it's one area. The other teachers that are members of our group here could fly in and come. They're only an hour from Little Rock and an hour from Memphis. If you buy the Memphis ticket, it's cheaper than the Little Rock ticket, because you have to go one more step. But Memphis would be cheaper. So if you go to Memphis, you contact any of us, Mike, and then come in, and maybe we could have like a reunion in the summer. I think that would be nice to do that. So anyhow, so we'll see. I need more guest house, looks like. More space.
Yes, Doc.
But anyway, okay. So yeah, that's all I have. And I always say we need
It's
to take
right
2 hours,
on.
but not 3 hours again. But it's okay. Thank you, Mike, for waking up early, a little late, but it's okay. It's still 7 something. And I thought about moving it again to 8, but then it will be so late in the Philippines, knowing that we always speak this long. So yeah, I think 7 was rough for me, but it's okay. I can handle it. So that's
Doc,
all I have.
Doc, I have one last question.
Yeah, last question. Go ahead.
Is there any schedule they provided you? When will it be the interview?
Sometime in the next few days. Sounds like from him.
In the next few days.
Yeah, because
okay, Ma'am Joanne, we have to be very ready with this interview.
Next
Ready.
few
I
days,
was
that's
ready.
gonna be Christmas party, Christmas exam. I mean
Yeah.
exam. Oh
yeah, and
no.
I'm going to Vegas
Yeah.
December 7 to 14. So I would not even, well, I'll be available, but I will be in Vegas. Fran, I'll be able to see Sharon and Grace and them. So anyway,
Jackie.
so
Good
yeah,
luck, Sarah Reed.
no, Jackie's in
Jackie's
Europe.
there.
Jackie's there. Okay, 7 to
Yeah.
14. I will see her. Good. But anyhow, so our daughter Stephanie, I have to brag on her. She's a doctor now too. So anyway, so Dr. Stephanie is presenting at a conference there in Vegas. So we decided we're just gonna see her there, so we don't have to go fly to Hawaii where she lives, and her husband's gonna be there. So we kind of have a little early Christmas with her. So Jet will be with us, and Dwayne and I. So yeah, it's a 1 week in Vegas. That's what we're doing. And so I'll be taking pictures. My next reels would be Vegas.
Okay.
So Fran,
Wow.
Hey, Doc
Here's my regards to
Merlina.
them.
yeah, thank you.
Doc, pwede po magtanong pa, last
Okay, yeah,
na.
go ahead, Arlene. Yeah.
The reason po kasi na gusto kong lumipat, I feel depressed po kasi dito. Like,
Because of the
every
noise?
night po naiiyak talaga ako.
I'm so sorry.
Kaya po kapag mga 3-day weekend, nagfa-fly po akong Michigan. Kasi nandun yung boyfriend ko at nasi-share ko po ang mga struggles ko.
Right.
Why not let your boyfriend travel to you?
Yeah.
My boyfriend is American citizen, but
Oh,
and he
okay.
has a house there. Yeah,
Okay.
it will be more, I think, and he also has a job there.
What is his job?
Okay.
He's a hairdresser.
Okay. Well, they make good money. They make better than
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's correct.
they do. But
So,
Okay.
pwede ko po sana
But you don't have to be like that, because you're putting down yourself. You have to be
be
positive at all
positive. Yeah.
times. You're there alone, so
Yeah.
carry
Look
yourself,
forward to the
okay?
weekend. That's kind of what I would do. It was like, okay, I know it's boring the week because I'm doing.
Go-
Again, look forward to the weekend, or Zoom. I mean, have a FaceTime with him every end of the day. So
Go to the mall.
I don't
Doc,
have a
Doc, I
transportation.
also discovered
that's
that Miss Teacher Arlene is one of our friends a former housemate.
ah
Mm,
Yeah, who's there, yeah. And
yeah
then
for
because my wife heard that, hey, St. Joseph, my classmate is there. So I just asked Ma'am Arlene about her, and then oh, I found that.
Wow, small
Yeah.
world, right? So
yeah.
Arlene,
Yes,
so Arlene, don't be depressed. I want you to focus on your kids during the
yeah,
week, and then,
Mm,
of course, at the end of the day, then focus on your boyfriend. So kind of make him be your motivator, because he's gonna be busy at work as well anyway. So just kind of look forward to the end of the day. Don't be depressed about it. And
mm,
if you are given a lemon, you know what they say about that? Make lemonade. Okay,
mm.
so yeah, so do that, and then but at the same time,
But
if you really want to
mm,
apply in Michigan, go to schoolspring, www.schoolspring.com, and you filter it and put Michigan, and then
okay.
look for the schools that are looking. And when you see the school, then you go to Google Map and see the distance. I usually just type on Google distance between this place and this place. Like for me, there's two Salems. So I usually put distance between 72576 and whatever the thing, because there's two Salems, 72 Salems in the United States. So anyway, so yeah. So you just
Uh,
do that.
Doc, I'm planning to message my visa sponsor just para lang po mag-try.
Mhm.
Do I need to include about my boyfriend that I have a boyfriend there?
No, that's a TMI, because that's not
Yeah.
something that's needed for the information that's related to students and
yeah.
teaching. So that right
Okay.
art.
It
So
should,
it's
yeah, it should
something
be
that,
like a work related
yeah,
situation.
yeah,
You can like put something like you're stressed with the lows and or the stuff and all the stuff. Maybe that will be considered
Mm-hmm.
because they always take for the like the situation of the teacher if it's okay or not. But they will accept that one if you
yeah,
have
but
valid.
not the boyfriend thing. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do culture
Because they
shock.
they they have the hint that oh that's the reason she likes to transfer there because so do not put something like an end or a period that oh that's the reason
Yeah,
behind. Yeah,
yeah, the culture shock, culture adjustment,
yeah,
all that, and that you don't have to say a boyfriend, you just say someone there that might be a support for you,
yeah.
but you don't have to say
Could be.
boyfriend, I think. But anyhow, but the thing is, if your boyfriend and you are serious with each other, and you end up getting married before the 3 years is up, then it's very easy for you to get a green card. The moment you turn in your marriage certificate, then for the paperwork, you will get your green card. So that would be, but don't ever do it just for the green card, because that will be fraud. You
Mm-hmm.
will end up in jail. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you're in love, that you really are doing it for the right reason, and
Mm-hmm.
then if you get married before the 3 years, then you will just switch it, the adjustment of status, and then you will be a green card holder.
Okay.
So yeah, and but of course, there's always going to be a question in some people, especially the one that don't like you, that's related to your boyfriend. They'll say, oh, she's marrying you for this, she's marrying
Mm-hmm.
you for green card or citizenship. I mean, that was done to me. And
Yeah,
those people that did that to me were divorced within 6 months, and my husband and I've been married 36 years now. But karma. But they were saying things like, "Oh, you married him for for green card and their citizenship," and then now, what reason do you have? I'm still here. so
yeah,
anyway, yeah. So but that's gonna be a common thing. It's gonna be something that you cannot avoid, because you really cannot stop people from thinking, from having negative filter towards you. That's not on you, that's on them. Okay, so do your thing, and if it's not, you have to think about, is this student or academic related, or teaching related? If not, that's TMI. They don't need to know. I had a good friend that used to be a policeman, and he became a doctor in statistics, and he worked with us, and he said, Merlina, you need to remember this, like I did when I was doing police investigation. Whatever we ask, that's all we need to answer, because if you give extra information, we could use that against you and be able to like create problems for you. So if I ask you this, answer me that. Do not give me any extra. But Filipinos, in our culture, we give extras. I mean, things like, oh, I want to go to the bathroom and do number two. And I'm like, I don't want to know what you do in the bathroom. So They do that a lot. The teacher, Maria, or anybody who would say that, like, no, don't tell me. Number two, number one, whatever. It's a Filipino thing, and as I understand because I did that too. But that's just our culture. So you have to recognize that this is something that's part of our culture. And one principal was actually telling me, Dr. McCullough, can you please tell your teachers that they don't have to tell me that they have their period and that they have their and I'm like, what? Our teachers were doing that? I'm like, that's
Yeah,
not
the Filipino really like that. Like, extend more details into
details. But this is a male principal, you guys. I'm like, do not be telling him about your period. I would say things like, I had a male principal too, so I had really bad issues with that. So I said I have female problems, and they know that. You don't have to say your period. I said I have some female problems, and I really need to get home and get some clothes.
That is what you call TMI, too
It's
much
TMI.
information.
It is, and Filipinos, oh my
TMI.
God, that's a weakness for us. Is we give too much information.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
So
maybe with that, Dr. Merlina, we're gonna cut it off. That's
cut it
too
off.
much information.
Yeah. Okay,
Exactly.
bye.
Okay. Bye. Thank you very much, Dr.
So
Thank
Merlina.
you
much, you
so
guys.
much.
Bye
Always a
bye.
pleasure.
See you
Bye. Thank you
on
so
the
much.
16th.
Nice meeting
Are we gonna
you.
have on the 16th?
Yeah, we have it.
On
Yeah.
the 16th.
Oh, let me think.
Okay.
Yeah, we have it in the
Oh,
15th.
that's my
See you on the
birthday.
16th.
I
Before
will be
Okay.
back
Christmas.
already. I will be back already because from Vegas the 14th.
No.
I'll be good.
Okay.
I'll be able-
TMI. TMI, Dr. Merlina.
No, it's real.
No, I'm just joking. Okay. See you on the 16th, everyone.
Bye.
Bye and thank you.
God bless
Bye. See
everyone.
you.
Bye.
Thank you, Doc.
Okay, bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye-bye.